All right. Hi, guys. Welcome.
It's just Matt today.
Things are getting started here. We've got Calvin versus Jeremy. I'm assuming Calvin's on 4-color. I don't know what Jeremy's on.
I think he's either on 4-color or a bug deck list. I saw Leovold, and he's borrowing the deck from Ryan, so it's one of those two.
All right. Let's get this round started.
It's going to be
55?
55. I don't think it's 55. No.
45?
28. Yeah, do 28.
28?
There you go.
Yeah. 3.
We're updated. Our time is right. So Jeremy's on bug or 4-color. Ooh, Calvin rolled Snake Eyes. He wins. And our backup, Caitlin, is on. Caitlin's on the left.
Yeah.
She's probably on Storm. That's what she usually plays.
Caitlin.
Ant. Ad nauseum temples. Storm. Bjorn! And TJ is on his old classic bug control. Just TJ. It's TJ. TJ Goodrich. I mean, Goodyear Tire Man. I don't know. I don't know at this point. But on our feature match, Jeremy's already fetched up a Underground Sea and Underground Sea. What the?
What?
Oh. And has a Deathrite Shaman. I mean, Jeremy has the best start in pretty much all of Legacy.
Yeah. Turn 1 Deathrite. Pretty good.
Gets lightning bolted.
Do we think that's 4-color?
I want to say it's 4-color.
Cool. All right.
The lightning bolt, you're targeting me, right?
Calvin leading on Badlands. That's kind of an interesting lead. That might potentially mean that he has something like him to follow it up with. Or
yeah.
I haven't glanced his hand yet. Looks like
Force, Baleful Strix.
Sure.
Something. Couldn't tell what else was there.
Well, we'll find out here quick. Here comes Thoughtseize. So Double Force, Strix, Ponder, Fetch Land, and a Kolaghan's Command.
Yeah, so going for Badlands is interesting. I think he may be trying to draw out a Wasteland or something.
Yeah. You know, you'd think you'd want to lead with like a Volcanic or something so that you'd have the mana to Ponder right away and you still have access to casting that Strix on too. But Fearing Wasteland is perfectly reasonable. Especially when most of your lands are wastable in your deck.
Yep.
Jeremy's hand, we see a Jace.
Calvin's asking if he wants to write it down. I'm pretty sure you know at this point what's in that hand, though. I don't know. Maybe I memorize hands too quickly, but...
Yeah, I don't know. I always think it's a good habit to be in.
To definitely write things down. Just to make sure.
Yeah.
My problem with writing things down is I always forget to, like, mark it off until, like, turns later.
Sure.
And so it, like, never helps because I'm already mentally like doing it. Mentally checking off, and then I'll go back and think, and I'll be like, okay, what have I seen played? Blah, blah, blah. Go from there.
So second Thoughtseize going to take the second Force of Will.
He's aggressive with those Thoughtseizes. He has put himself down to 14. Hopefully make sure his life total reflects that, but that's aggressive.
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know if I would double Thoughtseize right there. That's when you want Cabal Therapy, like, seriously.
Yeah, well, you have to imagine that Jeremy's list probably doesn't run more than 2 Thoughtseize to begin with.
Also true.
So that's an interesting interesting thing. With Calvin having no pressure in hand, though, maybe he felt safe to just kind of off it. Like,
yeah.
You know, Baleful Strix isn't going to really close out the game anytime soon, and Kolaghan's Command, while a good card, also is not going to deal a ton of damage.
It'll get some value if this Baleful Strix can kill a bigger creature, but at this point, like, Jeremy is just like, okay, I'm going to set up a Jace and then laugh at you.
Yep, Jeremy's hand we saw was, wow, he drew third Thoughtseize, so I guess I'm wrong on the only two Thoughtseize planned.
He must be playing
Wow.
bug control at this point. Because
Yeah.
I don't think there was any way that you'd be playing.
And, you know, there's also Windswept Heath, which I think is not a normal fetch land for 4-color, although, I mean, you can run pretty much whatever you want for fetch lands. But
I mean, really. Really, you can.
I'm going to say bug.
Yeah, I'm going to go with bug too. I think we got 2 bug control lists on this field.
All right, so Calvin brainstorms.
That's me. Just wanted to make our chat less sad.
Got off to a little bit of a later start today. I think they had a couple players come in later that they had to.
Corey showed up at 7:35.
Yep. But
And then one person after him.
17-ish players in the room today. So
So 17 there. We have tables 6 to 20. So 44 modern players and 10 standard players.
yeah, that's great.
So that's what, 60, 71?
Mm-hmm.
So 61 players. No, I'm doing my math completely wrong. 71 players. And then we've got a couple of commander groups and some other casual groups going on in the back of the room.
I have to say, the store seems pretty packed today. Just kind of walking through. There's a
Absolutely.
lot of people here.
Yes. We had a couple people come in who needed to get singles, and I'm like, hey, let me go and talk to you about one of your other hobbies for a sec so that my front staff can take care of people that are here. Luckily, we had a very good front staff. Now he's pondering to try and find a land, right? And he had to shuffle that.
Right.
Because if you see a couple of lands, you will want those.
I think he might have already known at least one of the cards on top from the brainstorm.
Yeah.
So Strix in for 1.
I mean, only 12 more turns. Unless this Deathrite Shaman activates for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, and there's a Leovold. Pretty good draw for Jeremy here.
Yeah.
Now, do you play Jace or Leovold? I'd be tempted to run out the Leovold.
I think you run out the Leovold and try and see if Calvin has another counter. And you can play around, well, I guess Calvin's playing 4 colors, so no days.
Yeah, I think, well, Jeremy has Force of Will
Yeah.
Jace in hand, so he might want to hold on to that Jace to pitch to Force if possible and allow Leovold to get some
Sweet value.
value.
He can always lead on Thoughtseize.
It looks like we're going to eat a land here and see what's up.
No, he's going with Jace.
Okay, Jace is the play. Jace is the play.
Force pitch. Oh, jeez. Did Calvin draw 2 more forces?
Yeah, so
Wow.
we've seen Calvin has seen all 4 forces this game. And here we have Force pitching Baleful Strix he's thinking about, or his own Leovold. Be tempted.
Hey, Bryce. You're number 2. You gotta work on that.
Force pitch Force. Yeah, that seems right. And here we're going to see Force pitch back on the Leovold.
Yeah,
And
that's fine.
yeah, there's just no way to know that he has Force of Will plus blue card, like, in his 3-card hand. Like,
Yeah.
like, you could play around it if you kept the other Force, but honestly, that's not something that I would do.
It's not the most important. Now, I think this is kind of interesting that he didn't automatically tick up knowing that Calvin has the Kolaghan's command here. Because he can attack
Right.
with Baleful Strix Kolaghan's command, and now his advantage is just over. But land Thoughtseize allows you to get rid of that Kolaghan's command or the Leovold.
So him definitely doesn't matter here.
Nope.
I'd be tempted to get rid of the Baleful Strix and force Calvin to find a land, but I could definitely see, like, Leovold is the most powerful card in the hand at the moment. I would think
I think so as well.
it's close with Kolaghan's, but
Yeah. If Calvin finds a land, though, I think his next turn is going to be kill Jace, and then I don't think he has
Right.
another turn. Make you discard a card or something.
Right. Which might mean that he wants to take the. Interesting. So he takes the Strix.
Well, he's doing what you said, which is make him find a land.
Yep, and he does right off the top. So Colgan's Command able to take care of that Jace, and ooh, that's a big blow.
Does Kolaghan's Command say any target? This might be.
It does say any target.
Okay.
It's been errated for any target.
Okay, because there are some of them that haven't been.
The only way I know that is I've seen it played online.
That is important. It has been a while since I've played online Magic.
Has it?
I've played a lot of League of Legends recently.
Mm-hmm.
Once I had my surgery, I played a little bit of Magic online, and I got kind of really tired of it.
Yeah.
And I need to go back. Go back and play some more Vintage.
Fair enough. Jeremy ponders.
Doesn't see anything he likes. So, I mean, knowing he has the Kolaghan's Command in hand, I would be so tempted, because he'd have to find a green source to get Leovold. And I don't know, just losing the Jace there was so...
Yeah, losing the Jace is huge.
My bad. I don't know what I'm doing.
You're doing what I always do.
Now it's not doing anything. Okay, whatever. You do you, table.
Alright, so Fatal Push comes in on the Baleful Strix. And Jeremy passes turn. He has Deathrite open to gain 2 life should he choose to do so.
Also, that Thought Seize it was literally a shock to him.
Yeah.
Because Kolaghan's Command just brought back the Baleful Strix that he got rid of.
Definitely.
So I think Kolaghan's Command was the right one.
Yeah, I think Colgan's Command probably was correct.
But alack.
Jeremy goes up to 10, and
I mean, no cards in hand
Fatal
versus 4 colors, pretty rough.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Calvin is way ahead here.
Find me a fetch land.
There's a fetch land. Here's going to come down a Leovold, and that's going to be very hard for Jeremy to deal with. Looks like Jeremy draws his own Leovold, though.
But
that's pretty good top deck.
he can't tap his mana like that, but it doesn't matter.
He figured it out.
Good job, Calvin. Yes, you need blue, green, and black. Not red, green. This is not Squee.
You mean Leovold isn't a rug planeswalker?
No, he's not a rug planeswalker. He's
No.
a Sultai planeswalker.
No.
He's not even a planeswalker, but he acts like one.
Yeah.
Except all of his abilities are always relevant.
Very true.
Can't wait to check in with Kyre and see how he's doing with Aggro Loam.
Oh, yeah. It'll be fun. So Ponder is the draw and the play, and then we're just going to look at the top 3 because of Leovold, and we'll shuffle.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. I know that Jeremy was pointing it out, but Ponder is one of the best cantrips to have under Leovold.
I would say Preordain's a little bit better.
Being able to scry?
Yeah.
Because then you can kind of control it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a controlled, like, you're not just shuffling, you're actively putting cards away that you might not want.
I see, yeah.
But
yeah, so I agree with that. Preordain's probably the better of the two.
But as far as these decks are concerned, Ponder's probably
yes.
the best
None of them are playing Preordain as far as I know.
Yeah.
We don't have Josh playing Preordain Miracles in here.
bet.
Nice, a land off the top. Oh man, this is such good magic. See, what Calvin can do is he can him to Torok. Storm is getting beat down pretty handily on our backup match. Leovold plus Deathrite Shaman is doing a pretty good job of controlling that.
Leovold's really hard to deal with.
Especially when you've already used your hand and then Jace comes down, so. Good game, TJ. You lose a lot of your manipulation. Anyways.
Baleful Strix is gonna get there.
Yeah, and Jace coming down is going to be big too, because that's going to allow Calvin to bounce Leovold and use that him and make it relevant.
Yeah.
Oh, but Hardcast Forcible is going to stop that Jace.
I mean, that's one way to do it.
Yep. Now, Jeremy's at a really low life total here. We see him at 5 life. He draws Ponder. He's going to look at those top 3.
Spell Pierce, Abrupt Decay, Fetch Land.
Okay. Well, Abrupt Decay is a good one to put on the top.
I still think you have to shuffle it. Well, but I guess what's the question? What's more relevant than?
I mean, you're at a
Abrupt
really
Decay.
low life total.
You have to get rid of that Baleful Strix. I think the most relevant card is a Baleful Strix of your own.
Yeah, Strix of your own would be good. Oh, it's just a 2-mana 1/1 flyer, but
I mean, they trade.
Yeah.
Saves you.
I think you have to try and Abrupt Decay the Leovold and then Ponder into something to deal with it.
Yeah, but he would have been 2 more turns off of being able to do something. So
Yeah. No doubt he'd be low.
he certainly doesn't have the time to wait for anything to stop that Baleful Strix.
Mm-hmm.
There may be a point at which he just has to attack with his Leovold and then lose the game.
Very true. Very true. Alright. So in for 4, we're going to see Leovold's trade. Strix in for 1. Deathrite coming down. And that Deathrite pretty much says I've got lethal this next turn. So unless that last card in Jeremy's hand is a good one, has to be
Toxic Deluge for 2.
Yeah. No longer good enough. Here we see, and it's just another land, so Calvin takes that first game.
Gotta turn off. That's the other match.
Yeah, I got you.
Man, what a... Wow. I felt like Jeremy had pretty good control of that game up until the point where he chose Baleful Strix over Kolaghan's Command. He got super 2-for-1.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like, if you keep that Jace around, you have so much more, like...
Right.
I don't know. In League of Legends, we call it inting. He was definitely inting at that point. I'm just going to run into their tower. I don't care.
Well, it's kind of like right when Jace first came out, it was a lightning bolt format, and it took people quite a while to figure out that you should probably plus Jace on your first turn. And
you plus it for sure. If you
yeah.
need to see the top part of your library, like 4 mana Brainstorm sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were both playing standard at that point.
Yeah. Well, and the way I was trying to take advantage of it is I was playing both Jace and Koth in my deck. So my opponent would go turn 4 Jace, I'd go turn 4 Koth and kill their Jace, and then play Jace of my own next turn.
That was a sweet format.
Good old standard. I love that.
That was a sweet
That's
format.
a great format.
That was right after Lightning Bolt Doomblade standard, right? Where it's like, don't
Yeah.
play creatures.
Yeah.
Or play Baneslayer Angel. Like it's like unless your card is better than Sprouting Thrinax, Woolly Thoktar, Bloodbraid Elf, or Baneslayer Angel, it's like not worth playing.
Yep.
And then people once some of those things started rotating, people were like, okay, I played a GOP Putrid Leech, is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna attack for 5/5 with my first striker on turn 3. Whatever.
So both of our matches are shuffling at the moment. We'll switch over to whichever one starts up first and go from there.
Yep.
But as always, best shuffle cams on all of Twitch right here.
Best shuffle cams.
Paragon City Games.
They're even better than than the Pro Tours shuffle cams.
Yeah, much better.
10 times better.
Mm-hmm.
At least. A million times better. Not even close. I want to say I brought in my other phone and then I forgot where I put it. Maybe I left it in my car. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Figure it out eventually. No one really needs it. Oh, shuffle cams! So has anyone watched the Pro Tour so far?
I watched like a round of draft. And that's
Okay.
about it.
I watched the start of a round of standard and was like, nope, playing League.
Alright, looks like our backup match is starting, so let's transfer over to there. And Storm will be on the play.
That makes sense. That's pretty good for Storm.
Yeah,
Especially if she can get that hallowed turn 1.
Storm definitely likes to be on the play, although that doesn't look
seem like
too
Storm.
stormy,
No.
so maybe it's not Storm. All these people switching up what they play, making it
tough for us.
That looked more Grixis.
Well, you may have to handle round 4 on your own.
Okay.
Or I may see if we have a buy person and bring him in. Because
Certainly
I have to go pick up Sam Tang for the Team Unified Standard tomorrow.
Oh man,
He's going to be doing video promotional coverage.
very cool.
So we're not streaming it because of the Pro Tour, but we'll have him kind of taping matches.
Sure.
Not taping matches, but like taping players, interactions, and things like that, getting an overall thing, talking about the event.
That'll be cool.
So
So it looked more Grixis Delvery to me, although maybe it's 4-color. There's a Kolaghan's command.
Lightning Bolt, Diabolic Edict. My hand feels really rough.
Well, Bug Control just eats Grixis for breakfast, which is sad.
I want to say, I'm tempted to say that's 4-color again, but we'll see. Kolaghan's command is a lot more of a 4-color thing. Well,
What a hand. Umzo's Jete, Fetchland, Wasteland, Brainstorm, Deathrite Shaman.
I mean, that's like exactly the type of hand you want to see against a deck like Grixis. Especially when we know that she's kind of mana light.
yeah. The only awkward thing is after, like, if Caitlyn has a way to deal with the turn 1 Deathrite,
Well,
then,
she has a Lightning Bolt.
then things get harder on TJ's side, mana-wise.
Absolutely.
And those brainstorms, after the first brainstorm, it's going to be a bit of a liability unless you can find another land.
Like a ball therapy on Brainstorm would be pretty good. That's another way to kind of put this game into perspective.
Yeah, Cabal Therapy would be great. So land is the draw.
That's excellent. I don't think she has a Cabal Therapy though.
Pretty good draw. You sit with that fetch land in play. Now that you've seen Wasteland, you just don't want to open it up.
Oh yeah.
And TJ plays out a Misty Rainforest, cracks it.
Maybe Deathrite, do it.
Gonna get a Deathrite, figure out what land to get it with.
Probably Underground Sea. It's
Yeah.
usually the best land.
That's usually what you want to do.
I mean, if you're Terry, it's the Church of the Underground Sea, right?
And that's, you live and die by that card. And I'm okay with that. Snace.
Welcome, Legacy! Yep.
I think he, like, died on us and just hit the
On
Y.
the Y button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his cat walked across the keyboard and hit enter.
No, cats are not that controlled.
They're very much not that controlled. Ooh, True Name Nemesis on this backup match. That's a thing. That is a card. Well, Caitlyn's drawing lands, which is not terrible. I'm surprised that she didn't Lightning Bolt at the end of turn.
I am too. It's possible that because she drew the Badlands, she might not have another red source fetchable off of the Scalding Tarn, but
There's
I'd
potential,
imagine that they usually have Volcanic to get, but you never know. I don't know.
Well, or she's trying to draw the Wasteland on the Badlands, because
Yeah.
Badlands is one of your less good spots.
Sure.
Lands.
Yeah. There's Volcanic drawn, so
She definitely has
certainly
Volcanic.
have the
in her deck.
option.
Judge.
Second fetch into play. Passes back. You're going to see an end of turn Brainstorm here.
Well, obviously she didn't have anything to do with 2 mana, so I can understand why she's fine main phasing it.
Now,
It allows her to play around days and whatnot.
sure. This is kind of reeking like almost a desperation brainstorm. He found a land, and a second death right, so
Oh, wow.
good spot.
Yeah. That's one way to do
But
it.
I don't know. I'm just really not a fan of the end of turn brainstorms.
It's an interesting thing. So she's going to double fetch. I don't think he has a stifle, but
She's gonna go for a Diabolic Edict on that Deathrite Shaman. Now in the backup match, Jeremy has 2 True Name Nemesis in play against a Baleful Strix and a Deathrite Shaman. And I think 2 True Name Nemesis is better than 1.
It's a pretty good card.
It's like with Battle Bond how 2 heads are better than... Hey look, True Name Nemesis is in Battle Bond. What is this?
True Name partners with True Name.
True Name partners with True Name.
Yeah.
That would be disgusting. Put a True Name into play when you play a True Name. Make it legendary. You have to put it into play for your teammate.
Oh. True Name certainly does partner with True Name. Well, she got 2 basics. Good job, Caitlin. Playing around those wastelands. Now I'm surprised there was no Diabolic Edict there.
So Caitlin has a therapy.
Oh, man.
I'm going to cast Cabal Therapy here.
What are you naming? What do you know?
She knows about another brainstorm, and this is going to be a brainstorm in response.
Okay. She knows about the Jitte, but maybe back on top of the library.
Right.
Or maybe going back on top of the library. What do you name?
I'd be tempted just to kind of blind name a value card like Ponder or something like that.
Okay. Ponder, maybe a Liliana?
Maybe. Could name Colgan's Command. It might not
Although
be
she knows
one.
his bug.
Yeah. Could try a name like Leovold or something, but
Maybe.
I think I'd just try and name a cantrip. Try to hit.
Ponder, or if
Yeah.
she gets more brainstorms. Or
Yeah.
if he gets
You've
more
seen 2
brainstorms.
brainstorms, so I think Ponder's the one to go for. But
I would agree.
yeah. How's it going, Paul?
What's up, Duder? Okay, what do you name?
What do you name, Caitlin? Well, obviously,
see.
she didn't name any of these. There's 2 the Slaughter, Abrupt Decay, Misty Rainforest, Baleful Strix,
And then the last card, I can't quite tell.
Looks like a verdant to me.
Potentially verdant. It goes. It goes. It certainly does goes. Oh man. I don't know why all of a sudden I've got the ons. I just don't want to.
It's that time of day.
It
To
is.
the Slaughter is quite the card.
It is. If you have whatever it's called is
Better Edict.
yeah. Get
Get your Walker. Get your Jace. Get your whatever.
it's pretty disgusting. I wonder if she probably did name Ponder or Brainstorm.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Pass its turn back to TJ. Looks like it was a Wasteland. Promo Wasteland was the card that we couldn't quite see. Let's go and take care of that Volcanic.
Well, so much for having red men.
Yeah, 2 red sources killed from TJ.
with a Culligan's Command. There's that a Leo.
Yep, that's Colgan's Command. There's a Jace too. There's no mana sources for that at the
I
moment.
almost feel like Culligan's Command right there is so good, right?
Caitlyn didn't have the mana untapped for it. Well, she chose to therapy instead.
And she didn't end of turn Diabolic Edict. Like it's, I don't know. There's.
She didn't have the mana for Edict.
Yeah, she did. She got the island in the swamp.
The swamp was tapped for the therapy.
No. End of turn when Deathrite had just come into play.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe she was afraid of days.
Maybe. So
Just
down
a
comes
Snapcaster Mage.
Snapcaster Mage.
For no value. Well, I guess you can get a.
Targeting
Probe.
Probe would be my guess.
I mean, that's the only way you can get value out of it.
That seems like a pretty awkward Snapcaster. But you do what you gotta do. Caitlyn's looking for lands. She's looking for something to interact with Deathrite, whether that's...
She knows what's in his hand. She could Cabal Therapy.
She could.
I'm surprised. I'm just surprised overall at that. I mean, she's like negative valuing herself.
Kind of some odd sequencing.
Yeah. If you're gonna main phase it, you gotta main phase it. Get the Cabal Therapy, right?
So, would you believe that on our backup match, the person that has 2 True Name Nemesis and a Gurmag Angler is potentially losing this game?
Just lost the match to Lightning Bolt plus a whole bunch of dudes.
So Calvin ends up taking that match 2-0.
Wow. Good run, Calvin. So we're going to watch this version of Bug Control continue to outvalue. Continue to outvalue his opponent. Where in the previous one, 4-color definitely had it.
Alright, so Jite is the play and Baleful Strix as well. And those are pretty good cards on this board.
Yeah?
Now that Edict is looking a little too late.
Oh, yeah.
This Forcible is looking way too late.
Oh.
Caitlyn's still short of red mana to deal with that Jite and clear a creature. Here comes Edict.
I mean...
And Strix goes down.
Edict is so much more value. Sorry, on the Deathrite Shaman. If you can stop him from playing 2 or more cards per turn.
Right. And here comes a Leovold, and that's going to be a pretty big game.
You definitely need to force that.
So here comes Force pitching Jace. Caitlyn drops to 13.
Yep. I mean, that's a card that you just can't compete with.
Yep.
Give me a color or give me a red source so I can color against command.
Right.
It's on a red source. Color against command right there.
Caitlyn's still stuck here on 2 mana. So Deathrite's going to activate.
Okay. We have 4 mana Jace coming down. Spell Pierce.
Looks like a True Name.
Can't Spell Pierce that. Nor can you Spell Snare it. And in days wouldn't be enough. I wish Flusterstorm worked. Nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
She's like, I got the. Oh, no.
True Name says, I don't care about those. Yeah.
Yep. They should make it a sorcery creature so you could do that.
Sorcery creature. Well, now we have like legendary sorceries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't understand why True Name isn't legendary.
Yeah. I don't think it's a flavor fail at all. And I think it functionally, yeah. If your opponent can only get 1 True Name and now they have to decide whether to attack or block, it's like, it just changes it up so much.
Yeah.
It forces them to have so much more in their deck to back it up, rather than, oh, I've got 2 True Name Nemesis, I'm going to swing this one. Can't attack me, except for the Baleful Strix.
Alright, Wasteland is the play from TJ. He's going to equip True Name.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where True Name gets really gross, is when you're equipped and attacking.
Oh, yeah.
So, True Name gonna get in for 3 GTA gonna get a couple counters on it. One of those counters will likely kill this Snapcaster.
I mean, yeah.
It doesn't have to yet. Maybe you just keep the counter.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Like, so... Caitlyn going down to 13? Down to 10.
Down to 10.
Down to 8 at end of turn, and then you're threatening 3, 5, 7, 9 damage next turn if you don't use the counters. Yeah. So, ideally, TJ should just hold on to those counters, get in for 7 more. That mana source just way too late.
Comes off the Baleful Strix instead of the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you could kill the Deathrite Shaman and the Jitte, there's a potential to come back. You can't attack with the Baleful Strix.
That Strix is, summoning sick. That's,
yeah, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, it probably won't matter, but that does take away lethal this next turn.
I don't think he's thinking about that, but sure. See, and I agree, right? Because it's lethal if you can do 7 with your dude and then eat something with your guy. This will put her to 1, which means she can't fetch.
Very true.
And she gains 8 life. Just kidding.
You can even wasteland that fetch here and just try to bait.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fully functional way to play the game of Magic.
So in for 3 comes True Name, and TJ opting not to use any of those GT counters. Here we're going to see a Hymn to Torque. This seems a little suspect to me.
Well, it's super loose that I don't know that he didn't pump at all.
Yeah.
Into that.
I think this is just giving Caitlyn more turns.
Yeah.
As is, she is going to 4 off of this fetch, so Deathrite, activate Deathrite is going to be lethal.
Yeah.
And
you could have also just killed her right
most of these decks only run 2 basics on the 4-color side, so you are going to be able to wasteland the land, but I don't know. It just seems a little suspect.
Yeah, it's pretty loose.
You see Caitlyn's. Oh,
there's one more basic.
She does have a basic, and that's a really, really weird basic to be running, especially in the deck that has sideboard. Wow.
That's even weirder.
A lot of basics in the deck.
I don't even know what's going on.
Wow.
At this point.
Wow. I'm shocked at this deck. Wow. Very, very not typical to see more than 2 basics in.
I mean, she's dead next turn, but maybe, just maybe.
It looks like she's gonna
pack
it in. So, TJ takes that. Yeah. TJ's just saying, yeah, I had lethal with the... we see Caitlyn brought in Blood Moon, which is kind of common. It looks like possibly sideboarded in maybe another land? I don't know.
Maybe she sideboarded in the mountain, but...
Well, it looks like Blood Moon, Deluge. Edict.
Okay. So is this just a Grixis control list of some sort? I mean, there's Mancers.
Well, it looks like.
Yeah, Mancer plus Snapcaster seems like a Grixis control list.
Yeah.
Well,
so that'll do it for our first round.
Only 10 minutes left. It's not
Back
too bad.
over here.
We should talk about some of the things that have been happening. So,
yeah.
Pro Tour
going on.
There's 2 undefeated players. One is from Singapore.
Okay.
From Grey Ogre Games, and the other one is from... I have it right here. Lucas Esperberthode from How Are You Latin, Brazil.
Cool.
One of the Brazilians that right up there.
Awesome.
But then right behind him, you've got Andrea Mangucci in 4th, John Finkel in 5th, Christian Wijaya from Idaho. So pretty close. Oh no, sorry, India.
Yeah.
Or Indonesia. I see ID and I'm like Idaho, and I'm like, wait a second.
That's not the way that works, Brian.
Owen Tweetenwald in 11th place, but you can see that all but 2 of these players are with teams in the top 11. And then in the top 16, there's 4 more players. So 6 of the top 16 are not in teams, which is kind of interesting. It looks like you've got a Danish player. I'm not sure where PT is. Or CA. Cambodia, maybe. No.
I don't know.
The Netherlands is here. Got Japan, Italy, Singapore. Kevin Jones in 17th. Pascal Maynard in 20th. Let's see what some of our Aaron Muranaka.
Hey,
Very classic Utah player. 6-2 at 26th place.
Congrats, Aaron. Keep up the good work.
Beating out Eric Froelich in 30th. Yvonne Flock. Paul Rietzel. There's some really good names that he's on top of, but there are some other players from Utah that made it into day 2. Let's see if we can find them. Willie Idle is 6-2. Kelvin Chu is 6-2. Seth Manfield, the number 1 player in the world, is 5-3. You know, it really makes you wonder what part of the tournament their
losses
were.
Yeah.
Whether it's split between standard and draft, or if they 0-3 their draft
you
pod.
Tank a draft and then go undefeated in the standard, or
it's so weird to kind of like try and figure it out. Yam Wing Chun, that guy's pretty hilarious.
Or like X and 2 standard and go 2-1 in draft or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Huang Hao Shan, one of the Taiwanese players, is in the top 100 at 5-3. Let's see.
Right before the tournament started, we were looking at kind of the metagame breakdown of the standard, and it looked pretty boring, to be honest. Pretty similar to what it's been looking like for a little bit.
Oh yeah, it seems very like the top 3 decks: black red aggro, red black mid range, mono red aggro, and that makes up, let's see, 22.8, 36.9, so 37% of the metagame.
Over a third
is red.
Yep.
It's just red deck wins, essentially. Different variants of it. And then the 4th most popular deck is Steely Stompy, and then black green control, or black green Bullis Constrictor, sorry.
Well, if you go down below that, then you've got like white black Benalia and white blue Teferi, and you've got your Esper control variants. Looks like 3 control variants, making up about 12% of the field.
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, nearly 13%.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, all the way down until you have 1 deck of each of white-black tokens and white-black mid-range. And just kind of people bringing in kind of whatever they could. Esper Conjecture is an interesting one. Let's see if it makes day 2. So when they roll it all up, red-black aggro and mid-range are the number 1 deck with 26.5% of the meta, and just mono-red aggro is 10.6%. And other makes up about 18% of the field, but
I think that's to be expected, because I mean, if you're going into testing for this, there's at least 1 deck on your radar where you're like, I have to have game against mono red. Like, I have to be able to play against that deck.
Oh yeah.
So like seeing that drop like that is not unexpected.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. You're right, Mike. One of these days you'll come in and you'll be pleasantly surprised, but no, we will never stream draft. It is one of the worst formats in Magic to stream.
Yeah, it's a really tough one to stream.
Just terrible.
You'd be much better watching one of the dedicated drafters on Twitch doing that.
Oh, absolutely. Having commentators for draft is just blah.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. And I will fight you. So it's kind of interesting that they've got that. Let's see.
It is legacy time. We're currently between rounds. waiting for round 2 to start up.
Yeah, we're kind of checking out the Pro Tour just to make sure everyone's kind of up to date on what's going on with other Magic. Things that will eventually become Legacy, like Karns.
Karn's already.
I know. I was kidding.
Already Legacy.
You're in need of some Legacy? So am I.
Well, you're in the right place.
You are in the right place. Let's see, in the top 300. I know a bunch of people from Utah made it in. I just saw Aaron Muranaka up there, up at 26th. It's funny because like he's been off the Pro Tour for so long, and he's like, I finally made it back on. Like, I don't know, I got to start testing and stuff. And I'm like, okay. Mike Hinderaker at 4-4. Well, 4 and X. He's got 12 points. Another Utah one. Let's see. Jack Kiefer, day 2. Those card hoarder boys. Alex Sittner at 4 wins.
He'd be 4 and 4 on the day, right?
I mean, he may have draws.
Oh yeah. Well, what, 12 points?
You're right. Yeah. Yeah, he's 4 and 4. LSV at 4 and 4. Something's going up. It may be Legacy. I just heard going on in the background.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Well,
we didn't have too much longer in the round anyway.
there'll be 291 players in day 2, with Brian Bronduin as the last place player making it into day two.
You know, the thing is, you can have a mediocre performance on day 1. If you get to day 2, there's still a chance that you can go deep in the tournament.
Danny Castro at 4 wins. I think Aaron Muranaka may be the top. Yeah, Aaron Muranaka is the top Utah player right now at 26th place.
Yeah.
That is a... That's a
good
great
spot to be
berth.
in.
That is a great berth, yeah. Especially if you want to make money at it. I mean, it's just out in Richmond, but
Well, he's
if
done,
you can...
done it before.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I mean...
a top 8, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think he may have 2. He has a couple. Aaron Muranaka is probably one of the best Utah Magic players.
Yeah, he's pretty solid.
Like, probably overall Magic players, right? Because the old guard here was like Eric Turong. And then, I'm trying to think of the people, sorry. Eric, Dallin Atkinson, Kalani Atkinson, Travis Padilla, Aaron Muranaka. There was like 2 or 3 others that were really good. There were some my age, like Brian, what's his face, the one that works at Wizards now. And all those, and I grew up learning from those people. I grew up playing with those people, so it was a lot of fun.
All right, let's see.
Any Knicks fit in the room?
Still nobody there yet.
Looks like they're getting close, though.
Looks like we're getting close.
I don't think there's any Knicks fit in the room today.
No Knicks fit that I know of in the room. I know we've got...
Les isn't here and Kyre's not playing Knicks fit.
Yeah, Kyre's on aggro loam today.
Yep. And Trace is playing Modern, I believe, and Riley is in Standard, so that deck's not being loaned out. I have none of my decks being played today, which is interesting. On Tuesday, I had 3 of my decks being played.
Well, there you go. Well, I'm super excited. I just got the last card I needed for my Doomsday deck, so I've got it all to myself now. I don't have to borrow cards anymore.
Nice. Well, looks like we got Calvin and Ryan and Kevin and Terry.
All right, pairings.
So we're ready to get this next one started.
Absolutely stoked.
I'm gonna go out and make sure the timer gets started. I'm gonna do my job.
All right. Do your job. That'll be close enough. Let's see who we get over here. How's everyone doing today? can't be too bad of a day. So you get to watch Legacy just like me. That's always a good day. Dees. Doing fantastically. Nice to hear it.
All of the best stuff. Hey, I found my phone.
You found it.
It was right here the whole time.
Like as Kanta.
It was inside of me the whole time.
It's a good spot for it to be. Oh. Okay. So we've got Calvin on 4-color.
What was Kevin on Tuesday? Kevin was on something interesting. No, last Friday he was on something interesting. And there is Ryan right there with a thing of Indian food that I gave him.
Oh, let's actually start their timer. I just walked out and like talked to people.
Good
I'm
going.
bad at life.
Good going. Alright, let's switch you guys over to maybe this one to start out. Let's see what's going on here. We got Kevin and Terry. Well, let's watch Kevin and Terry.
Turbo Depth's on for Kevin, and then Eldrazi Post for Ryan.
Cool.
Well, he maybe just be Mud. Sorry. He had Cloud Post, and I didn't look at the rest of the deck. But Kevin is definitely playing.
Terry's on Grixis.
Yeah.
That jerk. Apparently he's moody today. That's what Calvin said.
He's moody today.
That's what Calvin said. He was mad that I didn't talk to him because I walked out and I was like, I'm incredibly mad. You think you played me at GP Louisville? Maybe. Was I playing Food Chain? It was a partially foiled Food Chain at that point.
Partially.
Very slight. I think I had like a couple of foils. I think I may have just had my Deathrite Shaman's foil. I don't remember.
Do we know what Kevin's on today?
He's on Turbo Depths.
Turbo Depths.
Turbo Depths.
Just the normal version?
I don't think he's playing Slow Depths. You're looking for a hotel for GP Vegas. Junk Natural or Dark Text. Turbo Darps. Oh, did we play like twice, like 2 or 3 times? Like we played in the main event and then we played in like every side event, right? Turbo Depths and Nyx Fit are both excellent decks to have. Turbo Depths is an excellent deck. Nyx Fit is a moody deck. It can be really good until you play against Storm.
You said Ryan's on Mud?
Yeah, I remember Casey. Casey had this. He started out with like a normal kind of like mid-rangey junk fit deck. That I was like, oh, you're on Maverick because you like had knights and stuff, and and then he like natural orders into a Terastodon game 2 and 3 or 1 and 2 or something, just like out of nowhere. I'm just like, really? And I had sideboarded out my Force of Wills for game 2, and I'm just like, so. And then he got me in the side events too. So, alack. It's hard to beat Progenitus, and natural order fit is pretty tough to beat when you're not expecting it. Super spicy.
Yeah.
So I do remember that.
Got you good.
Oh yeah, prime time and
tough stage. I like it.
I don't remember. No, that definitely happened to me one of the games. I was like, really? But sometimes you go X3.
All right, so Terry's starting us off with triple probe.
Sometimes you like double lightning bolting yourself.
And
it almost feels like Terry's on Storm.
Almost. I think he really wanted to hit
a lightning bolt or something.
Sure. He has the lightning bolt. I think he had the fetch land too. I'm not sure what he was trying to hit with it, other than just stuff.
I think he wanted to make it Storm count 4 so he could fluster Storm.
Yeah.
For a lot.
So bolt your Deathrite. Deathrite means it is kind of a slower build.
It's
The
the
medium.
what was the name we came up? Not
Driving.
Sunday Drive Depths, but the other one. Stupid Depths or something. Slow Depths.
Slow depths.
I don't know. Someone had an interesting name for it. That's all I remember.
Not so turbo depths.
Exactly.
I mean, slow depths is kind of like the deck in the format right now, right? It's kind of like the player that just gets Grixis most of the time.
Well, I mean, basically, it's turbo depths saying, Deathrite's a pretty good card. Maybe I should be playing that. Like,
But I mean, Deathrite's a great card, but so is Elvish Spirit Guide for the turn 1 crop rotate, like, nastiness with.
yeah, but less so. I don't know. That deck always kind of was problematic.
Excellent. It was excellent.
Like, your good hands are really, really good.
Absolutely.
Like, your ceiling
turn
is
1s and 2s.
really high
Oh,
with
yeah.
the deck. Like, when you have an excellent hand with that deck, you're like, I'm making a turn 1 20/20. Can you beat it? Like,
Yeah.
And a lot of times they go, no, I can't.
Nope.
I can't beat that.
Nope. Can't do it.
But the floor is also extremely
Yes.
low. So
I mean, it's like Belcher, right? Where
Yeah.
sometimes with Belcher, you got a hand that's like empty the Warrens, Metamorphose, Belcher, and you're just like, yeah.
Add 3 Goblin Rabblemaster to punishing JUN deck, cutting 1 Confidant, 1 Tarmogoyf, and a 3rd Bayou. Yeah, I think 3 would be a little bit weird. I think Rabblemaster still dies to a lot of stuff in the format.
It really does. But if it's uncontested, it just gets
Yeah,
gross.
it's really good. I could see it being a good hit off of Bloodbraid as well.
Uh-huh.
But
The problem with Rabblemaster is it's so much better when your opponent can't respond to it, or can't interact with it. So when you have your Trinospheres and
right.
Chalices and Ensnaring Bridges and things like that, and you're just making an army of 1/1s,
Yep.
like the slowest Empty the Warrens ever is really good when they can't interact with it.
Right.
Well, there's a Sullen Safekeeper versus a Gurmag Angler. I see why he did all the taxing probes, so he could Gurmag Angler.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Your mag's pretty good. Safekeeper on the board for Kevin. We're going to see a crop rotation, and that's kind of a risky one to do against a deck that has Daze and Force of Will. We're going to see Force of Will on that crop rotation, although I'm really surprised not to see a Daze. It looks like Terry's kind of respecting the fact that he might have Elvish Spirit Guide or something along that like.
Yeah. Although, us knowing that it's slow depths, we know that there's no Spirit Guide of any kind where dazing it could work.
Right. I think the real giveaway there is Deathrite Shaman, though. Like,
yeah,
if
you have Deathrite Shamans, you don't have Lotus Petals, and
yeah. That being said, I mean, Force is still a 2 for 2.
Yep.
It's not horrible there.
Now, he must not be playing into the north either. I mean, we talked about this last week, I want to say. But you can't really be playing into the north when you've got basics, non-snow-covered basics.
Yeah.
I agree with Mike here. Bob wins the game in a similar way to Rabblemaster. It's just kind of the incremental advantage.
Yep.
Is that a Delver of Secrets?
That is a Delver of Secrets.
It's not the Insectile Aberration.
Not yet.
Not quite. Daze me.
And that one's going to get dazed. And Wasteland in play.
I knew it would be so.
Very, very strong against depths.
Yeah, Into the North is definitely a turbo card.
Yeah.
I love Into the North. Card's so good.
Rampant growth with upside.
Rampant growth with upside. Gets you a 20/20.
Alright. Delver flips in for 8. Pretty quick clock here on Kevin.
Yeah. I mean, you take it, obviously.
We see Kevin switch up his deck a lot, and it's really kind of fun to see what he's on every week.
Kind of see the changes.
Yeah.
What's main deck, what's sideboard, what's kind of going on. He now has Rights of Consumption.
Yeah, great card. Great card.
It's like, I don't even have to attack with this.
Well, it gets around so much because you always have priority until it's sacked, so there's no interaction from like swords to plowshares, can't be bounced, can't. Yeah.
You make the 20/20.
Can't be
priority back to
Caracas,
you.
yeah.
And then you sack it and you get them for 20.
Yeah. It's really, really pleasant. All right, Pithing Needle is the draw for Kevin, which is a good draw, but it might be a little bit too late here.
Yeah, Pithing Needle would be great if you could stop literally everything that Terry's doing. Terry just had such a good hand.
Yeah, and with Kevin down to 6, I think there's just too much pressure on the board. Imagine Sylvan Safekeeper chump blocks on Gurmag Angler.
I mean, yeah.
You're still going down to 1. So Kevin's going to pack it in.
Smart move.
And game 1 goes to Terry.
No, it's not usually a great matchup for Grixis Delver, but alack.
All right.
Well, it's definitely mud.
On our backup, we've got Ryan on mud versus Calvin on 4-color.
You cut your last 2 Blood Rage for 2 Chandra Torch of Defiance. For Legacy JUN. Are we talking about Legacy JUN? Because if we're talking about Legacy JUN, you done goofed. Just play JUN Nick Fit. You'll probably do better. JUN is in such a bad position right now. It's rough to love that sort of deck, but you gotta embrace Nick Fit if you want to be playing those colors.
All right. JUN is in kind of an interesting spot, right? Like, JUN is pretty bad against super fast combo.
Yep.
And it's also not ideal against like the 4-color grindy style deck, but it's actually okay. I think it's probably close to 50-50 against Grixis Delver. So
yeah,
if your meta was super heavy Grixis Delver, it would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Exactly, Mikey. The Delver matchup seems alright.
I mean, the issue is that the Delver matchup, whenever they get their good hands, you just lose.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And so, why would you want one where you can get like maybe a 60-40 against an average Grixis Delver hand, and have bad matchups against everything else when you can play decks that get good matchups against it, like Nick.
All right. So Calvin ends up taking that game. Jason, the board presence was just a bit too much for Ryan to conquer.
Oh, I wonder why.
Turns out Jace, pretty good Magic card.
Yeah. I know a Magic card that's a little bit better. Ugin, but you have to get to 8 mana.
That's like 2 Jaces.
Where is this? Veritable CVN.
Thanks for the follow.
You're the best. Welcome to this sauce. This isn't the Sauce King. I'm sorry, guys. That's Joe Demestrio.
This is the Sauce Gang. He uses a slightly saltier language than we say on here. And welcoming you. Where do we know you from, or did you just stumble upon us? That's the interesting thing, is a lot of our followers and subs are people that we know like well. We've seen them at GPs. We've gone and hung out with them at GPs. We've specifically gone down to Phoenix to hang out with 2 of our subscribers.
That's because the community's awesome.
Legacy is a great community. I'm really excited to see people at GP Richmond and Vegas coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Are you headed down?
I'm not. I've got family stuff to do. But you know.
See, my wife is going down with me.
Well, we're glad to have you, Veritable CVN. We do this twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays.
Yep.
Always Legacy.
Yep.
And
We also have a day, Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, standard and or draft stream by one of our players is a little more consistent in the PPT cube grind scene. Paragon's actually the best. There is Legacy at GP Vegas, but it's not a main event. So the side events, you'll be playing double ups and side events and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I love stumbling through Twitch. I'll do that for games that I'm kind of getting into, or League of Legends recently.
Oh, yeah.
To stumble around and find like smaller streams that look kind of interesting.
For sure, yeah. It's a good way to go.
Yeah. The problem is with some of the really big ones is like they kind of like ignore the things that made them good in the first place and then like never improve. And
but at a certain point, it's just hard to interact with, right?
Yeah, where your chat is literally flying past and people in chat are just like saying things at random.
Yeah.
Where it's like 500,000 people in chat and you're just like, what am I doing here? And you just turn off chat. Done that a couple of times.
Very cool.
There
Yeah, it's hard to get things to fire. We do a really good job of getting tournaments to fire, but I've certainly had that problem at other places in Utah.
Absolutely.
I've seen Legacy scenes that have been like right on the edge and then just die out. Like
yeah, you have like 5 to 6 regulars, and they'll bring friends every once in a while.
Yeah.
But then
yeah, exactly.
As soon as one or two of those guys like has an extended vacation or you know something happens, like it's just over.
I'd say here though the least I've seen is about 12 players.
11 or 12.
And the highest I've seen is
the highest I've seen is 34.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the 30s.
As far as for like an FNM, I think we've done about 26 is our highest.
Right, and 20 like 16 to 22 seems to be about the average that we get for Legacy right now, which is pretty sweet when you think about it. Like that's a lot, and it's people playing actual Legacy decks, not like.
So you don't have to go to blue. You can still play NickFit. There are several really good JUN NickFit lists that you can do quite well with. Being able to set up the Veteran Explorer Cabal Therapy sort of combo with big creatures is really good. Also, Turbodaps and Black Red Reanimator are very good decks. I mean, they can get hated out quite easily, but they're very good in this current meta. Number 7.
There's plenty of ways to enter into Legacy that aren't blue. You know, you've got Burn, which is not a bad deck.
Yes.
If you wanted to work your way into blue from there, then you could go to blue-red Delver, which is kind of like a hybrid of Burn and Delver.
I mean, it's counter Burn.
It's
like
it's
the
a good,
OG Magic stuff.
Right, yeah. And that'd be kind of an entry point in, but if you could also go from that route and you could go into Red Prison or something like that, or you could go into the NickFit variants like you were talking about.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things that you can do. Black Red Reanimator, Death and Taxes. Death and Taxes is a very accessible deck to get into.
You could even go down to the Pox or the Gate.
Sure.
Which are both fine decks.
But you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Where are you, Veritable?
You can.
Where are you located? What's will we ever see you at a GP or something? Will we ever be close to your shop? 10 to 15 card proxy thing unless we have a big sanction event.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. As long as everyone's on board with that, yeah. It certainly would help, yeah.
Oh, Kansas. That's a little ways out. But, I mean, you're relatively close proximity to some pretty good areas, so you can go out for larger events when those happen.
The Midwest is kind of an interesting area for things. I'd say, depending on where you are in Kansas, if you're more towards, like, Kansas City area, it'd be a little bit easier. But,
to get to stuff. If you're out closer to us, you
on
may
the
be
other
in
side,
trouble.
you're kind of in the no man's land of probably Denver would be your closest spot to go at that point.
There's not too many big events out there. That's not terrible. Kansas is a nice area though.
2 hours from KC.
So
yeah.
you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's kind of a rough spot. Good luck to you getting that going. You know.
Yeah, hopefully. And we can
Very flat, yeah.
we'll always be streaming, so you can certainly find us. Except during Vegas. We'll definitely not be streaming during Vegas because pretty much all the Legacy players are going down.
Yeah.
As far as proxy things, the only thing to watch out for with proxy events is when people kind of like settle in and build only proxy decks.
Yeah, for sure.
And aren't even trying to build the full Legacy decks.
Yeah.
You want to do proxy events so that people can like build towards full decks.
Gotta do an IRL stream.
Oh, in Vegas?
Well, you know what you could do? You could try to do like a video blog or something like that for YouTube.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Throw it up on the YouTube page.
That'd be pretty cool.
Might be hard to do on short notice, but
Well, we've got a buddy there who might help me out a little bit. An IRL stream. I mean, maybe. Might be able to do it. Doing a vlog in Vegas, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I've done a couple of Facebook live streams.
Yeah, that works too.
Just from the event. That's fun. Especially doing just side events. It's going to be a little easier to kind of highlight what's going on without getting in people's ways. Ooh.
So, Wasteland Surgical, and we're going to get rid of all of those thespian stages. And that's going to fizzle off of the death rate, but
I don't know that it matters a ton, though, with that Hex Mage in play.
I think the Safekeeper is doing a decent amount of work, too. Just being able to protect what's on the board.
Terry really needs another Wasteland. I think in response to that Wasteland, you got to crop rotate. I don't know. I think you crop rotate into a...
Alright, here comes Probe. We're going to see what the rest of Kevin's hand is here. It looks like another Safekeeper and Depths. So,
Never mind.
Pretty good.
No need to crop rotate. Doesn't matter.
No need.
Life's hard. Life's hard when you just natural draw your combo.
Yeah. Alright, so we're going Pondering and we're shuffling pretty quick. We need an answer to a 20/20 next turn.
I need a waste. Like, Terry needs a Wasteland.
You need Wasteland.
It's literally just Wasteland.
Yep.
Yep. Just Wasteland.
You need a Wasteland one time. Oh, this is kind of rough too because Terry.
It is a land.
Terry set himself up in a position where he had Wasteland in play, which kept Kevin off of getting that 20/20 down. But he also had the Surgical, so he figured, well, I'm going to try and Surgical away all these stages. And that's going to do it for that game. So the match
Terry
goes
just picks it
1-1.
up. There we go.
Ice monsters are hard to deal with, as it turns out. They're
Ice monsters
very
are
angry.
super hard to deal with.
Alright, so let's see how our other match is going. It looks like they're shuffling up and getting ready for a new game. I'm assuming this is going to be game 3 over here.
Highly possible, because we were there watching Terry and them for quite a while, and they were in the middle of shuffling. I mean, maybe Calvin sideboarded it incredibly slowly.
Out. If Calvin's on the play, that'll be the tell.
Yes. Well, Ryan's having a good time, but his hand was bad.
Ryan on the mulligan.
10 out of 10.
Alright, these guys are getting back into it real quick, so...
we'll pull up the Grixis match. We'll have the Mud on the backup so we can kind of tell.
Yeah.
I'll be watching the Mud match just to see who goes first.
Opening hands being drawn.
Well, Calvin went first, so
Yep.
we were right.
So
1-1 on the backup. Both matches are at 1-1. Going quite quickly.
all right, double probe starting things off. Not the triple probe that we're used to seeing, but double's going to be a decent start. So
I mean, it's almost as good as double. Jeez.
All you need is one green or black source, a green source, and you're like, ha! I gotta.
Yeah,
Urborg.
Urborg does it.
Double Deathrite does it.
Double Deathrite does it. It's a pretty good hand. So down comes stage, and we're going to see Needle, and that's going to get dazed.
Doesn't even get to name anything. I think you name Wasteland, though.
You definitely would name Wasteland. Definitely would name Wasteland.
If only Terry could draw one.
Now, if you draw an Urborg here, you could go Urborg into double death rate, and then pretty much guarantee the activation next turn.
Yeah. Terry shuffles away Force and 2 other blue cards. Here's Ponder Brainstorm. No, Daze. Force, Daze, Ponder, I think. Something like that. Shuffles it away because.
What's better than that? Definitely a Wasteland. Definitely just the card Wasteland. That is not the Wasteland. Okay. We have a black or green source.
Well, the good news is Terria has a fetch land, and I think
Play of the game on Neil before they kill you. That'll be quite interesting.
Terry draws Wasteland.
Looks like Kevin doesn't want to put
not.
that Dark Depths out for a Wasteland Surgical combo to go off.
Seems strong.
Yeah, makes sense. Especially when you've got the full combo in hand, like both players know about it. There's no real reason to run it out. Kevin checking out the art on the backside of that Delver.
Nice.
And down comes a Bitter Blossom. You know what Bitter Blossom's good at doing? Blocking a 20/20.
It's very good at blocking a 20/20. It's almost like that's what it was made for. Okay. Kevin, you gotta draw land sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
He's got to play something out this turn, otherwise he's discarding to hand size. So, we'll see what that is.
That is definitely not Bryce. No, it's someone else.
You think it's not? Could be. Could be alternate.
Bryce just here to troll always.
Could be alternate Bryce.
It's fake news, Bryce. Get your facts. Straight.
Naming play of the game on Needle before they kill you. I like it.
Seems strong.
On Moto, there's always the Abandon Hope, which comes up first now on the thing. So.
Yep, I love names. I love naming Abandon Hope.
Yeah,
I've done that more than once.
Although I almost feel it was better when it was Sarpedian Empires Volume 7.
I'm just playing this for Storm Count. Well, he found a fetch land.
Yeah. So, kind of an interesting spot here. He's going to have an answer to this Bitter Blossom, either a way to get through the tokens or a way to deal with what's going on. He's also got to contend with that Wasteland in play, which is kind of problematic at the moment.
Just a little bit.
And this is kind of like the very typical problem that all the Turbo Depths variants run up against. It's I have everything I need to combo off, but there are 2 or 3 pieces of interaction in play already from my opponent that I have to fight through.
Yeah. So
the puzzle becomes, can I get through this before my opponent kills me? Like,
well, I think that's going to be the issue here is Deathright Shamans just aren't going to be enough.
Yeah. Yeah, Deathright's not going to race well.
Against the ever-increasing Horde, because it's going to go 4 to 11, 5 to 6, and then 6 dead. So 3 turns.
And we know at the very least there's Wasteland as backup, and that's only going to increase over time. If Terry ever gets a surgical or something along those lines, it could be even worse.
Yeah. I mean, if we see... I could potentially see a Pigneal off the top to turn off Wasteland, get a 20/20, and then sit behind Deathrite Shamans.
Possibly.
Like, that's... I think that's best case scenario for Kevin. Maybe Sorcerer's Spike.
We're still reaching a point, since Bear Blossom is active, we're reaching a point where there's enough damage being pushed through every turn on the board that it doesn't matter. You just attack with all the tokens except for one, and you regain that token that gets killed every turn.
Yeah, but you're losing up to 3 life per turn.
Sure.
Which can end it pretty quick with the Deathrite Shamans.
So, I think like that is my way out. If I were playing this, that would be what I'm thinking. This is how I get out of this.
If Kevin has something along the lines of Rite of Consumption, he could fling a 20/20 at him, but he still has to get past that Wasteland.
Yep.
Unsure if this build runs Fury Step or anything like that. But
I think we saw it last week, but I'm not sure if he is right now. I mean, a Rite of Consumption would be pretty good.
Kevin might be able to force the issue. A lot of times these decks run something along the lines of Ghost Quarter. Might be able to make something happen with that.
Maybe.
Or just have like 3 different things to activate.
Sylvan Scrying?
Yeah. Or Into the North, Sylvan Scrying?
Either way, it's making spell pierced.
Yeah. Kind of surprising not to see Kevin run out like a Hex Mage.
To kind of just have double threat.
Well, the thing,
I'm in a Thespian stage for this. Oh,
yeah, exactly. So
Wasteland.
you just go like run out Hex Mage, then that kind of forces action, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because if he untaps, then he's got 2 ways of doing it.
Yep.
You can go do this. Oh, in response, do that. Okay, well, make 20/20, and hope that that's good enough to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not a doctor.
Neither am I. Sylvan Safekeeper.
The 20/20 is not the wave this time.
Oh, we're gonna replace that with a Deathrite.
It's like the same card almost,
right?
Except it's not at all.
They're both elves. One of them makes mana, the other one destroys your mana producers.
Synergy.
Synergions.
Well, it's not 8 damage coming through this turn.
True. It's not 8 damage yet.
But now it's 5.
It is 5.
Next turn with 9 across 5 different creatures.
Yeah. That's rough.
Force backup. Terry passes turn.
Looks like Calvin won the backup match.
Yeah.
I don't know, with Ryan at 1, usually that's how that...
Yeah.
Usually that's how that works in Magic.
So Kevin's really got to make something happen here, and not a whole lot of resources to do it with.
That's rough.
Even though he has a pretty full hand, it's just not very fast or interactive.
I think this is one of the matchups where, I don't know, if it were just Turbo.
Yeah, Turbo would be a lot better in this matchup, I think. At least this game, right?
This game. Well, reading 2 cards. 2 lands are out.
Alright, so double Deathrite activation.
Who made this big mess?
And Kevin's going to copy Wasteland with Stage, is what it looks like.
It's fine.
It's aggressive, but it's fine. Now he has a way to deal with Wasteland.
Yeah.
But he dies this turn.
Thing is, making a 20/20 on its own is not good enough this turn, right?
As long as the other Delver doesn't flip, then it's fine.
Yes.
If the other Delver flips, it's beyond over. I mean, you made a lot of mana, Kevin. Now it's time to do something with it.
Alright, we're going to see Marsh Casualties. Now it's going to get forced.
I mean, yes, obviously. He's deciding whether or not to kick it. I think you kick it so you can get rid of that Delver in the air.
Yeah, I think I'd just go for it. I think he did it that was a really weird sequencing. I think Kevin's just a little bit flustered on what to do here and thinking that he can't really play through anything. So Terry's going to take it.
Okay.
2-1. So, kind of an awkward game for Depths.
Yeah, it was. He was drawing everything but exactly the cards he wanted.
100 to 0.
How's it going, Kyre?
Hey! What's your record?
2-0.
Nice! Maybe we'll get you on camera.
So that's the
Hey, join
opposite
for a
of what
minute?
you thought it was. Yeah, join us.
I know I just dodged camera after round 1. And I was like, good. I don't want people like seeing all the terrible mistakes I'm having. So
At least you're making them at the right times.
yeah, I guess so. It's been good.
Nice!
My last round was
What'd you play again?
it was Sultai control.
Okay.
Yeah. When
TJ?
when Sultai control doesn't have lands, like they die. And so round 1 game 1 I just clobbered. In game
Yeah, you just
2,
wasteland him out.
game 2 he went on the wasteland plan.
And
My hand just had like 5 lands in it. Like
you're like,
so,
okay.
yeah, he even abruptly caved my Mox Diamond to try to like push me off, and like yeah, it just ended up not mattering.
That's rough.
Yeah, it was cool. And then I beat False here round 1. Yeah,
Nice.
I don't think I should have. Though. It's not. Like that was actually kind of scary.
False Cure is a scary
Yeah.
deck when they find their False Cures.
Yeah.
If they don't find their False Cures, it's...
The only time he found one, he went like Sky Shroud Cutter, and then whatever the card is that destroys all enchantments. So it only dealt
Reverence
11.
Hounds?
Yeah, it only dealt 11 to me,
Okay.
and I went down to like 8. But he has like this board of like 2/2s, and so I like held on for like 2 or 3 turns, and then I found Toxic Deluge, and like I went down to like 3 life to kill all of his creatures. I really went well.
Sounds like it.
So how'd Terry do?
Terry got it that last round.
Yeah, so he's 2-0?
He's 2-0.
I don't think I've ever played against Terry in a tournament.
No, because if you're not casting, then he's usually casting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the times you guys are both casting.
Well, I'm like never playing, so
This is what, your 3rd week back to playing?
mhm.
So.
Yep. I had a 3-1, and I had a 2-2, and then I've already got 2 under my belt for today. So
So you're going to go 2-2 again.
The X and 2 dream is still alive.
Leave me alone.
It's like you and Calvin and Terry and who's the other 2-0 right now?
Somewhere.
Yeah, there's at least one.
Maybe off camera.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's been fun though.
Fun?
Back to playing.
Man,
It's Magic.
I don't know, Chad. Is Kyra allowed to have fun? I'm not sure. Not sure.
I think they'll let me.
Just
I don't know.
this once.
That'd be weird if they were. That'd be weird if chat was like, "No, Kyra, you need to be casting. Stop playing Magic.
Stop playing Magic.
I mean,
Start
maybe.
casting.
Yeah.
We had a guy show up who I played in GP Louisville. GP Louisville.
Level?
Louisville. We're 2 weeks away from Vegas.
Yeah, we are.
We're gonna be in Vegas in a week and a half.
I'm excited. I'm just gonna play like Legacy for hours and hours and hours on end. And when I'm done, I'm gonna drink with Matt. Oh wait, you won't be there.
To be fair, if I was there, I'd be drinking beforehand.
Yeah, I probably would too. Especially if you were there.
And that's what it's all about.
Ay,
Oh,
ay, ay.
man.
Good old Vegas,
Alright, so Terry sleeved up Grixis Delver.
obviously.
And I told, like, he was like, I'm thinking about playing Sultai Control. And then I was like, just do it. That's the deck he had built.
Mhm.
He was like, never mind. He just, like, starts taking it apart. I'm like, come on, play something else. I mean, he's like an insane Delver player. But spice it up every once in a while.
I mean, yeah. I only play Food Chain ever, so it's like there's no spice there.
No, you play Steel Stompy too.
I've played it. I
You've
haven't.
mixed it before too.
I guess you're right.
Yeah,
But like one tournament apiece.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine.
sometimes you just need a break from whatever deck you're playing. Just
See,
like
the thing with
a
Steel
breather.
Stompy is every time I'm like, oh, I'm gonna play Steel Stompy tonight. One of my buddies is like, can I play Steel Stompy? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It's like the easiest deck to lend out because it's so easy to play.
You say, what about you play Food Chain?
That deck is so hard to play well though, and I just get mad at people when I go back and watch the replays because they make it on camera somehow. I haven't even watched my matches from Tuesday.
It's actually like why I'm scared to be on camera with Agrilum. Because like, so on Tuesday we had Trace play it, and he dredged like every turn he could dredge. And we were like, stop dredging! Like, oh my goodness, you don't need to be dredging all the time. And now every turn I have the option to dredge. I'm like,
Do I dredge?
do I dredge? Like, I don't think I'm supposed to dredge.
I mean, like that's the thing that makes Paul one of the best lands players that I've ever seen. It's because he just inherently knows this turn. Oh, I can't dredge this turn. I need to draw these, and he's really accurate about it.
Yeah, it's been interesting, that's for sure. I mean, there are these moments where like, and like the other weird thing is you'll have a Knight of the Reliquary, and your opponent actually has like a sizable creature, and you like want to cast your loam, and I wind up doing these like weird turns where I'm like, okay, cast loam, return my wasteland, just like target like one land, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like reoccurring my wasteland, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it could get in the way of the Knight of the Reliquary.
It's just fluctuating size. Yeah.
Knight of the Reliquary has been like interesting too.
Fast percentage math.
Yes.
It's super
Yeah.
weird. Yeah, it is about fast percentage.
For sure.
Knight of the Reliquary is a super weird card. Too.
Yeah, it's
like
so
get
hard to know
right.
what to get.
Yeah.
And like the other thing that we saw on Tuesday is Trace tended to dredge a lot, and then he would do it to try to find a Merit Lage, right? Like he wanted to get Merit Lage onto the board.
I think Merit Lage is just like the really nice backup plan.
It is the backup plan, but that's what's so odd about it though, is that like while I've been playing it, I'm like, oh man, there are games that like I feel like I really want to gun for it, and I have to like hold myself back and be like, no, Kyre, we don't need to go for that. Like, but once your opponent has like 0 cards in hand, they have like a true name on the board, so you can't really like attack with your Knight of the Reliquary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of nice to just go get the big old 2020. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And it doesn't take long either.
Well, it
It's
really
like 2.5.
doesn't, especially when you've got knights and loam going,
Right.
and like,
Yeah. Deathfire Shaman's a great way of bringing it back, though.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think the Deathrite Shaman like hurt loam like a ton, or aggro loam like a ton, but I think it actually just does. Like, I've had a really hard time with it, and I have 3 Abrupt Decays and I have 3 Punishing Fires, but like, you know what?
If I can get 2 Deathrite Shamans on the board, like I'm not scared of that.
Just
Yeah.
just those 6 cards. Yeah. I've been lucky though. I've been able to have like one of those 6 cards in my hand when each time I'm heading into like my turn 2, so I can just kill it. Ugh. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna force my Punishing Fire.
Sometimes.
See, sometimes you have to.
But then you
When
just
they
get
do,
so much value on
when
it.
they do, I just feel so far ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't give Agrolome time, guys.
It's
Just kill the Agrolome player.
Oh, Bryce is back.
Bryce.
Oh, Bryce. By the way, I'm playing with Loam, but don't worry, I don't have any gambles.
He's only playing
No
gambles.
gambles.
It's 46 gambles and 4 lands and 12 life forms.
Brian's wrong.
That'd be a very bad deck.
Yeah,
46 life from the loams. I'm just kidding. 37 lands, 4 gamble, 4 life from the loam. That's all you need in your deck. Doesn't matter what the other cards are.
I'm only
more
half evil.
giant Solifuges.
More giant Solifuges.
I will say this.
Whose
the build-
story is it where they sold or traded a Solifuge for a Tarmogoyf? A giant Solifuge.
Oh,
I don't know.
I've
oh,
heard-
that was a Hodge story, huh?
I've heard that story. I've actually heard several different variations of different people having that story, but I think one of them happened at the Hodge
Yeah, it was the Hodge, definitely.
early on.
Just you mentioning that, I was like, yeah, definitely.
I remember they kept trading me a Maelstrom Pulse for like Siege Game Commander or something. I'm like,
Dude,
this is worth $20. I will give you more. He's like, no, I don't want anything else. I'm like, okay.
I had a friend proxy giant Solifuge onto Life from Loam.
That
back
was
in the
another.
day.
I do remember.
I
that
remember
story.
that.
Yeah.
Was that
That's the
was
story
him?
I'm
That
thinking
was
of.
Brian.
Oh, Brian did.
That's
He
the
kept
story.
it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where it is now.
Giant Solifuge.
Yeah.
I guess like from
Came back years later. It's like,
I'm an idiot. Yeah.
shake your head.
Oh man.
Some days you just have to shake your head at that. Have you watched any of the Pro Tour? Or have you paid attention to any of it? Aaron Muranaka is 6-2.
I've heard. Yeah. So we have 5 players from Utah that are in day 2
But everyone except
of
Aaron
6.
Muranaka is 4-4.
out of 6. But
Yeah.
still, that's good. Like, yeah, that's a good showing.
Everyone making everyone but one making day 2 is really good. Yeah.
That is
I
really
think
good.
so.
Yeah.
Means that they had enough of the right preparation.
Yeah.
And with a good run day too, like 8-4 is,
Oh yeah.
or not 8-4, sorry, 12-4 is a very respectable finish. And
For sure.
potentially top 16.
But it looks like we might be getting some pairings coming up here. So
Probably.
Soon. I heard something going on, but
Does that mean I have to go?
not yet.
I wanted to relax for a second.
We can wait until this
and just
updates.
talk and chat for a moment
you'll be
about my sweet aggro loam deck that I'm like loving. It's so cool.
Oh, these are M19 spoilers. M19 looks
That's the
terrible.
one. Apex of Power.
Looks like garbage.
Ugh. It's a
Yeah,
core
so,
set.
so far it looks like a core set.
Like,
Like,
it's just bad.
But, like-
core sets are stupid.
Why bring back a core set and then make it just garbage?
oh man, Angel of Retribution with that old school art.
In
oh
Battle
man,
Bots?
yeah.
I remember opening those in Torment and being like, this is the best card ever. 7 mana, 5/5 flying first strike.
I still think that's the best card ever.
Okay.
Very
Better than Overwhelming Splendor.
Oh yeah, no, just kidding.
So.
I don't know. Like, I honestly think that the biggest reason to bring back core sets is to give them more opportunities to reprint cards. Like Wizards is kind of falling behind with like keeping modern cheap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
and I think that having a core set a year to just like bring back an ability like just stupid easy abilities to understand like
I think core sets really open up your design space as well in your other sets, because you don't have to deal with as much chaff in the sets that you're producing.
Yeah, but then they put chaff in core sets. So as a store owner,
Yeah.
from the store owner perspective, it's like,
Yeah,
this set is going to sell very well. It's not going to be drafted very much. It's like,
for sure.
Like, we're going to get a bunch of pre-release product, and I'll be surprised if it all disappears.
Yeah.
Unless there's, like, really good reprints.
Right.
And so it's like,
Or
it's
new
scary. Yeah, or get new cards. It's really scary to have a product like this
For sure.
and have all the chaff. But yeah, you're right. The Ravnica sets in the fall will benefit from the Core 19 set.
Definitely.
And the Core 2020 set that comes out.
I think it really does kind of set the tone for Standard. It's what you're looking at in terms of like baseline removal. It's what you're looking at in terms of like baseline creatures and stuff like that. So,
yeah. It also creates, I think it makes better draft environments for the other expansions.
I agree.
So it will increase sales in other places, but it's still not my favorite thing.
When they got rid of it, I was so excited.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Like, it's funny that they didn't like reboot anything. They just continued off like right where they started with like
They're like, oh, M15.
Oh, M19. Like,
M19.
Yeah.
We didn't miss 2 years.
Yeah.
Where are you, Bryce? Or I guess we got to guess. He's on Mars, guys.
Mars?
He's one of the first colonists on Mars.
Congratulations. I'm gonna guess that you are up a tree and that you went to go fetch a cat up a tree and now you're stuck up a tree.
Bryce is such a good person. You gotta make a guess, Kai.
Brian's making funny jokes. I like it.
Fatigue, yeah. MTG fatigue is real for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
because I'm tired and I'm trying to stay awake.
I don't know, you're like falling off camera. He's like, I don't want people to see me tired.
Yeah, I'll just sit over here and be a talking head.
No, a talking body.
You're out of state.
On Main Street? Whoa.
On Main Street.
He's in downtown Disney. Main Street, USA.
Unbelievable.
If you're in Disneyland, Nate's also out in Disneyland.
At
so
least you're on the main street. Altering some crystals.
Probably, actually.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it looks like things are going to get started, so.
Alright.
Ding,
Bye,
ding,
chat.
ding.
I might check in later.
New round.
If you're at Disneyland, go and say hi to Nate somewhere. He's out there. It's tomorrow. Is tomorrow sealed or draft? Good question. I don't know off the top of my head. Let me go and look it up. Stand by. Absolutely.
All right, so hopefully getting some new pairings. Get that going.
I don't know. I have no idea if it's sealed or draft.
Damn
it.
So, get a Sire Altar.
Oh, yeah, Nate's at Disneyland. He may be San Diego. I thought he was going to Disneyland. I think he's going to Disneyland. Putting on. It'd be cool to put some sweet shades on Sire of Insanity.
MTG adjacent conversation.
So it looks like it's sealed tomorrow, I think. Person that we're talking to through the thing.
You should. That's a really cool thing, an entire altered deck.
Yeah. Post it. Post the altars. You can put links or whatever in here.
Yep.
We're all about that life. People like to see sweet things.
Oh yeah. Especially us.
Did you type in seal? Four packs per player.
Okay. Looks like we're getting people. Battle Bond looks boring.
I am not excited about it, but I'm more excited about our standard tournament that we're doing tomorrow.
I think Battle Bond's just not a set for me, really. Like, it's not my type of shtick, but it's definitely other people's type of shtick. At least some people.
Yeah. Brightling is still bad.
Yeah.
Turn in Nemesis beats Brightling.
I know some people are really interested in that for like death and taxes, but it just seems
Flicker Wisp is so much better. Mirror and Crusaders, like you're gonna play 4 Mirror and Crusaders before you play a single Brightling.
Yeah, you'd have to play it over Mirror and Crusader. You can't.
You just have to put it Calvin versus Kyre. There we go.
All right. Now we're getting matches.
Corey versus Terry.
Okay, there we go.
We got.
Yep, Terry's staying right back down where he goes, where he belongs. Nope, other one.
Yeah.
That's Corey on Grixis.
All right. Well,
Can I get the timer started?
let's go over here. We got Calvin on Grixis. Or no, 4-color. Excuse me. 4-color. Kyre on aggro loam. Let's get that time up. Something like that. Not quite. Might not be quite. Try that. That's looking good.
Tasty. Someone's opponent disappeared.
Ruh-roh. Alright, so opening hands being drawn.
Oh, we're doing the Kyre and Calvin, so we can laugh at him on camera.
Of course.
After he laughed at me on camera.
You have to. What good is Kyre playing if we're not putting him on camera so that we can laugh at him?
I guess you're right. But Corey and Terry are also on camera.
It's very true.
Woo. Isn't a blade deck, and blade decks are bad. Wait. What's the... Oh, the Gristle Branch just got posted online. I'm gonna look them up. My phone? Oh my goodness. Wow.
Ooh, pretty. We
So-
should pull those up in between rounds.
Absolutely. Bryce, those are...
Those are pretty.
I love how my Eternal Scourge and Walking Ballistas have now basically become the basis for this Reanimator deck. Like, the entire Reanimator deck is just like my Ballistas and... So you're welcome, Bryce. You're welcome, Bryce, for me being like, let's do this sort of thing. Except it was all you. It was all your creativity. Oh. Oh, that looks so good. Oh. Oh. Oh, man.
We'll have to pull those up for chat.
Daddy. Yeah. Man. How do you get that punishing fire out of his hand?
So, did Kyre keep a one-lander?
It looks like it.
Kyre kept a one-lander. With a Mox Diamond?
Huh.
Yeah. Just figured I'll hit lands. I'm playing a ton of them.
Huh.
Could be a thing.
Uh-huh.
Kyre, what are you doing? Have you considered trying harder?
I did show them to someone at Seattle, and they did request their own, apparently. You're welcome, Bryce. You're welcome for business. You're welcome for making a product that advertises itself.
Well, in the meantime, Calvin's not having any trouble finding mana.
Nope, he's doing a great job of it. Calvin, you should play more lands in your deck.
And death rate, pretty strong. We were just talking about that in this matchup. How Kyre thinks that it actually does quite a bit against aggro lump.
I just feel sorry for this whole game. It's, I mean,
Pretty one-sided at the moment.
4-color control. Yep. If I were Kyra, I'd probably just concede the game and go to game 2. There's like nothing. I just can't think of anything that brings him back in this game.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
maybe,
it's a very awkward spot.
maybe just an incredible like waste on life from the loam thing, and then gets a punishing fire to kill. Like maybe, but
Maybe.
still have to get through counter magic in that.
Like
That's
if
right,
you
Shaman.
had a second like punching fire in hand or something.
Kyra is a greedy man. You're right.
Greedy deck leads you down greedy paths.
Calvin's
If we
just
see an abrupt decay in hand,
Jeez.
if you abrupt decay the death rate, then maybe you can get back into it. But I don't know. This is a lot of Strixes.
Yep.
Yep, Kyre's gonna pack that one in. Calvin takes that first game pretty quickly.
See, and he was just saying something about how he was talking with Corey about how Corey only does good when Kyra does good, and Kyra's not doing good. So let's see how Corey's
Let's
doing.
see how Corey's doing.
Corey seems to be doing significantly better.
There's a young Pyromancer in play, making some tokens off of Ponder.
It's usually a good way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder what that. Oh, days. Man, they were dazing back and forth just a second ago. Probably were dazing over this young Pyromancer.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Tribal Strix beat down. Too much. Kyra is deathly afraid of birds. That's why he plays Curse of Death Soul in one of his decks.
Mm-hmm. Owls in particular.
Yep. Owls are the worst. They can just, I mean, they turn their head nearly all the way around.
It's kind of creepy.
It is. And they always ask, who? Okay, Corey.
All right.
Gotta put a little bit more pressure on than that.
In for 2.
This 3-2 is pretty good against you.
He's got the true name in hand, so if he draws another land, might be okay. But I see Terry has more dazes and forces, so might not be. I think Corey's just really itching to spell pierce something here.
Oh, if I were Corey, I would be. I think it's good forcible fodder though for if you got the plays. I look a land.
There's third land. Ooh, second Young Pyro.
That's pretty good.
Definitely a good draw.
I mean, with just one more.
I'm assuming Corey's down to 10 and not 1.
Yes. He just didn't want to flip over the 0.
Fork Bolt, that's going to be the spell that we fight over here.
Absolutely.
So, Fork Bolt, I'm assuming this is going to get Spell Pierced, which will give 2 tokens, and then that's going to get dazed, and then we'll see what happens from there. I don't think, like, the last card in Corey's hand would have to be Force of Will, but then we know Terry's got Force of Will back up, so.
Yeah, but getting 4 tokens off of
Very true.
Fork Bolt may just be worth it. Because that's 2 turns.
Yeah, worth noting, Corey's at 6 life and D5 off of a force, which
I mean,
might not be enough.
He's potentially dead either way.
Yep. Gonna need a good draw anyways, like a lightning bolt or something.
Yeah.
And we have the force. Okay. So
5, get 2 more
as called.
tokens.
And I think Terry's pretty much obligated to force back.
Get 2 more tokens. Yep, there we go.
So doing the math here, that's going to be 5 tokens in total. The 2 Pyromancers will likely go away here. And Terry will drop to 12, which puts him on a 3-turn clock. So there comes the force.
The obligatory force, as you said.
Yep. Replay land. Pass turn. So the thing is, that kind of clears the way. If there's anything at all that comes down on Corey's side, it can easily swing the game. So we're looking for like Deathrite Shaman, Lightning Bolt, True Name Nemesis, Fatal Push, anything along those lines.
Like it back.
So down to 2.
It's a dangerous place to be.
Does Terry have a bolt?
Does Corey have a bolt?
Yeah.
This is like nail biter.
I think if Corey had the bolt,
he would have gotten there.
He would have bolted the Delver last turn.
Yeah.
I think if Corey drew anything that was of value, he would have cast it. Like, he would have cast a cantrip, right? He would have cast a creature, like a True Name or another Pyromancer or something like that.
Yeah, I can't think of what this is.
Pyromancer could have been a hold. My bet is it's a land that he drew.
Sandbag that land.
Well, makes your brainstorm a little bit better.
Yeah, it's true.
All right.
Brainstorm and double. I mean, all he needs is a lightning bolt, and he wins.
Lightning bolt, fork bolt.
Fork bolt won't. Oh, fork bolt will do it.
Yep.
Was a land. What was the last card? He's not going to show us.
Nope. So Terry takes that game.
Looks like he just drew a young Pyro.
And
a
little bit of a better start here.
Best turn 1 play you can.
Little bit better.
Mox Diamond into lol.
I hear Chalice on one's pretty good against decks that like to play
Brainstorm.
Ponder, Deathrite.
Okay, all of those things, especially on turn 1 when you get off of Mox Damage.
I don't
And
need Soul Lance.
Kyre's got Loam going as well, which is pretty awesome.
Yep.
And it looks like a Wasteland in hand, so getting that slow lock going.
Oh yeah.
Figure at max, Calvin has 2 basics in deck. Calvin's build is much more standard than Caitlyn's that we saw earlier.
Hey, Wasteland the blue source, and I mean, I don't know that you need the Punishing Fire the Strix here, but you just have the option. He's got so many cards. He could also, if he has a Knight, get a Knight down. That Himitorque is kind of scary, but it's not too bad with what we see in his hand. I mean, aggro Loam is like, cool, you got discard spells? Yeah, let's fight.
Yeah.
Calvin draws a land to get himself out of harm's way.
Him certainly not at its best when Loam is and Punishing Fires are going down.
Yep.
So Strix gets Punishing Fired. Here comes him. We're gonna give a life, get a red, get that Punishing Fire back in hand.
Life. Oh no! You put lands in my graveyard. That's the worst.
Conveniently 3 lands in graveyard. Dredge Loam.
Let's put 3 more lands into our graveyard. Mox Diamond, Windslow Teeth, and a Chalice. Yeah, that seems fine.
It's fine.
I mean, I'd love to have the Mox Diamond, but when it's not coming down anytime soon.
We're just wastelanding. And now you've even got your Thicket, so that you could Dredge Loam at instant speed if you need to.
Yeah. In the bin. Kyra's playing it super safe. But Calvin forces it. He doesn't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Well, that allows him to do this right here, which is cast at Leovold.
Which is quite good.
Very good against Wasteland. Very good against a lot of things, as it turns out. And
I think Kyra has an Abrupt Decay in his hand, though.
Single Punishing Fire is not going to do it. Abrupt Decay in hand will, and that Abrupt Decay was able to survive the hymn, which is fortunate for Kyre.
Yep.
Kyre informing Calvin that his ponder is just look at the top 3.
Oh no, he was
not
informing
even
the
that,
surgical
it just-
extraction
yeah,
got
yeah,
countered by.
Chalice.
Let's put
Excuse
more
me.
lands into our graveyard,
Yep.
including another wasteland.
All right, so gonna start off with a Loam.
Yep, seems fine.
We're gonna try to get back some lands.
Man, it's hard to Abrupt Decay right now because if you Abrupt Decay now, then he can just get it back off a good Colligan's command.
Alright, Abrupt Decay is what he chooses to do.
But now he can kind of wasteland and hopefully lock him.
Well, I think the goal is Calvin probably doesn't play that many green sources. If Kyre gets a wasteland on that tropical island, which is
what he's gonna do.
Looks like he's gonna go after the
Red source.
Badlands. Okay, so that keeps him
Turns
off
off
Colgan's
Colgan's command.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's fine. Possibly slightly more relevant.
Hitting you a long wasteland will be really annoying. But at least you have Ghost Quarters in your deck.
Pretty sure Calvin. Oh no. Does Calvin run a Pithing Needle?
He has one in his hand right now.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, good thing it's not castable. Gets countered. Chalice doing a ton of work.
Yep.
Just making sure life totals are correct.
Well done,
That is a
team.
needle.
Oh yeah, Pithing Needle can't be cast through a
Yep.
Chalice of the Void. I do remember that thing.
Well, it certainly can be cast, but not very effective with that.
I feel like you take off double black. I think that is right.
Yeah, going after the underground makes sense.
I think I would have done by you, but I'm not a doctor yet. This seems like a much better game for Kyre.
Definitely. This is kind of the trivial point.
Yeah, exactly
like,
what Loam wants to be doing.
yeah. Now,
Calvin's entire hand is uncastable.
Yep.
Oh, I know what makes this better. Let's just get another Mox Diamond in play.
I'll speed up the clock a little bit once those quenching fires start ticking up.
Yep. I'm surprised. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Dark Bob put on.
That'll increase the clock a little bit here.
That's another clock, yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much the trivial part of the game.
Yeah, Calvin doing a good job of drawing lands, but not much to do with it at this point, as his whole hand is dead. And Kyre able to waste land once a turn.
Yeah, literally. Not even close.
And second grove, and we know that there's a third grove in
In the
graveyard.
van, yep. Got it all. Living all the dreams. There's another Dark Confidant. There goes Tropical Island.
Calvin down to 11. Second Bob.
Yep, and Calvin's done.
Yeah, Calvin sees the writing on the wall, so we'll be going to a game 3. Much better showing for the aggro loam deck that game.
No, let's hope game 3 goes similarly.
In the meantime, we've got our mirror match going on back over here.
Looks like there's a Ponder, a Wasteland, a Gitaxian Probe, Days on that second Ponder. Man, this is an attrition game if I have seen one. There's a Delver's Secrets. Let's see if this threat sticks.
Looks like it does so far. Corey looks really light on cards right now.
Who must have had a bad mulligan and he got wastelanded early on. And Terry has just kind of been able to punish him.
Yeah, Terry up 1 card in hand off of that Daze.
Gitaxian Probe still needs a ban.
You're trying to get a rise.
I mean,
It's not gonna happen.
I've talked with both of these Grixis Delver players and they say it doesn't destroy the deck, but it needs to happen. Chiggywig?
Thanks for the follow.
Did I say that right?
Hope so.
Because it sounds almost like a derogatory term.
Corey going brainstorming here.
Have you seen the Netflix series Ugly Delicious yet?
No.
It's really good.
Is it?
So it talks about kind of like food cultures.
Yep.
And how like each of our cultures have developed, and like the American food culture in general. But like they do tacos, they do fried chicken, they do like Chinese food.
Yeah.
But it's like just all Asian food in general.
Mm-hmm.
They do like Cajun, and then they do like Viet Cajun.
Interesting.
And so they kind of talk about this, and they go to each of the countries where some of the food came from, and kind of show how the American food is reflected in those cultures.
Veritable, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Have fun. Yeah, it is getting on the later side, and certainly there are things to do on Saturdays.
All right. Well, while that goes on, it looks like our feature is about ready to get going, so we'll switch you back over. We'll keep you informed on the Grixis Delver mirror as well.
That'd be great. Glad that you're following so you can get those notifications. Make sure you get those notifications, so hit that bell or whatever the icon is for it.
Yep. Twice a week, right here, Tuesdays and Fridays for more Legacy.
Yep, 7 and 7:30.
Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain Standard Time. Slow start for Kyre. He must have a sword? No, he doesn't play swords.
Looks like he's got. Is that stage? I can't tell.
The hand seems slow.
There's a Ghost Quarter and this
Yep, Caracas.
Caracas.
And a stage.
Looks like he's got it all.
Alright, Dark Confidant.
Aren't they great? I love when these two play against each other because they have excellent play
Awesome
mats.
playmats.
Space Pot! Have you seen that SNL sketch?
Mm-mm.
So it's, I think it's Katy Perry and no, it's Gwen Stefani and who's the dwarf in Game of Thrones? What's his name?
Peter Dinklage.
Dinklage, yes.
Yeah.
And so Peter Dinklage walks out on stage and he starts singing Space Pods, and like it's this whole thing, like there's a mob meeting in front of him and one of the guys is failing, and then he comes out and he sings about space pants and he walks up to him and like engages them this whole time as they're trying to like off this guy. It's really funny.
Nice.
And then Gwen Stefani comes out and they sing about their space pants and her space skirt, and it's really hilarious. Space Pods. That's what your name, Tight X Pants, reminds me of. Hey, that's a nice little pay 3 draw card.
Yeah.
Caracas is good. It's pretty good, I've heard.
They rolled pretty good too, and Kyrie not with a ton of pressure at the moment. It looks like he's thinking he's going to Ghost Quarter himself to get a green source.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for a Life from the Loam right here. Interesting play. Thanks for
the
follow. Tight pants.
Tight X Pants.
He's just talking about space pants.
Ooh. So, here comes Surgical.
That's
rough.
That was aggressive.
It's a very well-timed Surgical.
Very well timed.
We do see that there's Knight of the Reliquary on Kyre's side that might be able to apply some pressure coming up here.
He's gonna change his name right quick. Probably means real quick, but right quick sounds so much more civilized. You're a charlatan and a ruffian. Space Expanse. Space Pat. Please change your name. You'll make my life that much better.
Calvin's still with the Termagoyfs in the 4-color build. That's such a weird choice to me.
I mean, some days you just want to.
I mean,
you just want to beat down with a 6/7.
It's a magic card.
It is a magic card.
It is a magic card.
I've heard it's been said.
It's
Elon
awesome.
Musk pants. No, he's more like Mars pants. Mars pants.
Little known fact: Tarmogoyf is also a Pokemon.
Very little known fact. I did not know that fact.
Yep.
Now I know that fact.
It is by far my favorite Pokemon.
It's the best Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Is its best ability sleep? Is it like a Snorlax?
No.
Oh,
No. All right, so Ponder resolves, and now we're going to see a Strix.
How much do you want to bet that it's going to be a Calvin Terry finals?
It could be. This match is still far from over.
Truly. But
looks like Deluge in hand.
Deluge and Lily
I wouldn't be surprised to see Kyre try to land a knight here. And then next turn try to go for Lily. Or do you just go second knight? I don't know.
I don't know either.
You don't have the mana to do both.
You have to get a black source. I think Kyre may be gunning for the 2020 here. I think that might be his plan.
Yeah, that's certainly a way to close out this game. If that's the line, then I'm assuming you just want second knight.
Yeah, you gotta be worried about this Jace. So you gotta figure out a way to set up a second knight. With your
got
space pads.
Ghost Quarter. Likely the last basic in Calvin's deck is Islands, which is kind of relevant.
True. JTMS bounces the card.
Okay. Well, that's
Aggressive
the
lines.
thing. Punishing Fire. Ooh. If Kyre had a red source, that'd be quite the draw.
I mean,
shockingly, Kyre's mana base is kind of failing him right now.
this could. I mean, he could deluge here.
He could. Deluge for 2.
Yeah, and then deluge for 2.
I'd be tempted just to play Knight again, though.
So would I. Honestly, leave up your Caracas.
Interesting.
See the Caracas.
There you go. Yeah, it makes more sense, especially when you know Leovold's in hand. That kind of forces the issue of Jace.
Yep.
We start out with a Him or Snapcaster? Snapcaster, maybe.
I mean, double black here.
It looks like Snapcaster.
I'd be surprised if that was the mana you used to
Snapcaster. Can't really see his graveyard too well, but we know that there's power there. I like Jace Brainstorm to start. Seems good. Force it will.
That force might be relevant.
True.
Kyre really needs to draw a red source. If this knight lives through the turn, that gives him a fetch land into whatever.
Yeah, either a red or a black source. Because you can go a black source and get the Liliana to kill the Baleful Strix as well.
I think you want to kill Jace at first, but Bolt's going to take out that. Interesting. So, if Kyre had left up Ghost Quarter there, he could let the knight live through a bolt.
Yeah.
He does have second knight though, so maybe that's not a problem. I think this board state's good enough to go ahead and deluge.
Yeah.
You and I know that that's not going to work out very well, but it'd probably be where I'm leaning.
I think that's the right play. I mean, it's either Deluge or the second knight. Either one of them is going to get forcible. Probably both of them. But it's like so creamy.
It's like he's got a chalice in hand as well. So like Deluge Chalice on 1 is kind of tempting.
Yeah. I may have led with the chalice here.
I think leading with Deluge is better.
Yeah.
Because that way Calvin doesn't have the information that 1-drops are dead. So
yeah, that's true.
Even though he forces pitching Brainstorm here, it leaves open the option of force pitching something else. Yep. Yeah, and that's kind of an awkward spot. Kyre's still pretty live to draw a red source at some point, but
Unfortunately, with J-Slab on the board, I mean, if he draws red source, it's really good. But with J-Slab on the board, it allows Calvin to get rid of all of the 1-drops that he sees and just
sure, yeah,
shuffle them
just
away.
keep putting them to the top.
Yeah, put them on top and shuffle away. Really sets him up. And Calvin is putting on serious pressure now.
Yeah, and for the second game out of 3, we've seen 4-color matching or with more lands than the aggro loam deck.
Yep. Which is unfortunate for aggro loam. Can't quite see that. Almost see it. But I'm going to say it's a creature, sorcery, instant land. 4, 5, maybe 6, 5. Hey, Captain QC, you're just in time for the end of round 3.
Welcome, Captain.
Hey, look, we got a red source.
Riot!
I might have gone for the Taiga. I think I can see why I want to double black, though. But yeah.
Yep. This makes sense. We're going to see probably a Knight get played and Punishing Fire. Well, you could Knight Lily.
Yep.
That might be a better use.
Yep.
Knight Lily, kill a Snapcaster. You'd prefer not to grow the Goyf this turn. That's going to get forced anyway.
Can you...
Yeah.
Yep, gotta kill the Snapcaster.
And Lily will take a hit.
7. No, I think
Or
Calvin just kills Kyre next turn.
Kyre might just be dead.
Yeah.
Double activate.
Double activate to
Yeah.
and take the toxic and something from your own graveyard.
So, land, creature, instant, sorcery.
Bad Maverick and Badlands, you're right. Yeah, at least play Duretti Jund. Hey Fox, welcome back. I know, Duretti Jund would have been so much better with 1 Rancor.
Well, yeah.
It has to.
Come on.
Play 61 cards and play Rancor.
If you're playing Duretti, you might as well play Squee. Like,
Then you might as well play Food Chain.
Yeah.
We're there. And I mean, when you can
Jund Food Chain.
just entomb it with Reanimator package, and we're good. Black Red, yeah. 2 Knights were in yard, probably should -2 Lily. Does it put it back onto the battlefield?
No, it goes to hand.
Yeah. Yep. So that is definitely you have to kill something.
Yep. So that looks to be the game. Kyre loses that one 2-1. And let's see if we have any more magic going on. It looked like the other game
Was wrapping up.
still going on.
Oh wow.
So, more magic to be had over here. This must be 1-1. There's no way these guys are not on game 3.
No, those graveyards are pretty big. Okay. I'll go with it.
Well, it might be.
I mean, it's 3-7 right now, so
We'll
I want to
see.
say this is game 2.
Could
still.
be game 2 still.
Like, we're just waiting
That
for
might
a
be
lightning
little
bolt.
hasty.
Yeah. We're just waiting for a lightning bolt from Corey. I'm fetching. I have a Lotus Petal for a Tropical Island.
Tropical Lotus Petal. Alright, Delver.
Okay, don't you, like, get your fetch land in place so you have a red
So-
source?
Yeah. Have open Pyroblast. Will travel.
Yes. That's not a lightning bolt. I think Corey gets this.
Today's
True name
True name?
Nemesis.
Alright, well, Corey has to flip that Delver. Ooh, Marsh Casualties.
Pretty good card. Never mind. means Deathrite Shaman is going to put.
So bolt or bust.
Well, Deathrite Shaman is going to put Corey to Terry to 5, which puts him out of bolt range.
Yeah, but it'd be very, very tempting for Terry just to play a true name here. Well, maybe not. Double Pyroblast, never mind.
Well, he can only use
Forgot
one
about
because
it,
he has 3. He may not have any more red sources in his deck.
Possible.
Because I see 2 Volks and a Trob.
Yeah,
The other Volk
Very-
may be gone. That's
very possible.
So he may just have 2 dead cards in his hand.
Terry's gonna go up to 5. He's playing it safe.
Well,
Probably a good
that
thing
was
to
the
do.
only that was the only thing he had open. Was
So,
his Deathrite Shaman, besides the True Nemesis.
Delver, pretty good draw.
Yep, I would say so. Doesn't look like Corey has a red source left.
It's quite possible.
I think now is time for True Nemesis. Yeah, maybe not.
Thinking about it. It might just be better to hold open Deathrite.
It's a lot of pressure.
Deathrite's 4 damage on its own.
Every time someone plays
Yep.
aggro, check gets 1 round closer to a top 8.
Alright, well, Terry takes that game.
Grixis Mirror, someone kill me now. I want to go back to loam. See? The grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Alright. Well,
Gotta head out here in just a little bit.
we should show those beautiful, beautiful
Oh,
altars.
please. Open up a tab for Facebook. Not that one.
Not that one.
Hey, Kyre.
I want to talk about it. I don't know, man.
You needed a red source for so long. Like, if you got a red source.
Did you see game 1 though?
Game 1 was
Game 1's what I'm mad
garbage.
about. Game 1's what I'm mad about.
Game 1 was absolute garbage.
Because like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that was a good keep
And then after
because it wasn't. It wasn't a good keep.
Alright. Check these out.
Just finished them.
Click
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
Make it bigger. I want to see.
Oh, yeah.
Show them our chat too. That way they have like 3 chats.
Triple chat.
Chatception.
Chatception. Those things are hot fire.
Yeah, they all look really good. Everything's gonna look the same in the graveyard though. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna have like all. This person's gonna have like a bunch of these cards in the grave and just.
I really
Which one's
hope.
the Iona?
I
Which
really
one's
hope.
the brand?
I really hope
Yeah.
their head judges. Here, let's scroll through the other ones. I really hope the head judge is like okay with it, because these
They're
are sick
gorgeous.
as.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Go another one. I think one more. No.
Wow, Bryce earned a good job from Captain QC.
Wow.
What the?
Pretty awesome.
So the reason Bryce was telling us in chat, the reason that these ended up here, someone saw my Walking Ballista and Eternal Scourge, and they're like, "Who did these?" And I'm like, "That guy right over there," and immediately.
No, those lingering souls.
No,
are
yeah,
not-
the lingering souls won't.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Okay, see, you have a Badlands, and a Mox Diamond in hand. You're on the draw. You have every good turn like 2-drop in your entire deck. Your hand's just like fire, right? And I'm thinking, okay, if I draw any land in the first 2 turns, like I can't lose. Guess how many lands I have in my deck? 27. 27 lands.
There's a drop.
Drew 4 cards and did not find a land. I'm like,
I think 6 with the Scry is still better than that hand.
it probably is. It probably is.
I mean,
I don't know.
knowing from food chain keeps that I've had. Also, Corey got destroyed by Terry.
27 lands.
No, I get you. I've certainly had that happen before.
Had a 1-lander. I had 26 left in my deck. Couldn't find one in 4 turns. What the heck? I'm like really upset. I'm like beating myself up over this because like
Well,
'cause,
game
like,
2 was
all in
Well,
all-
insane.
game 2 is very much the game plan of the deck.
Oh, you guys
Yeah,
did
yeah.
see game 2? Yeah, that was a
We
great
saw
game.
your whole match.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Game 3 just felt.
Game 3 was
we felt so
fine.
bad.
Yeah,
It was the one time your mana base was like la 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 la.
yeah, it was bad.
If
And
you
the
did-
surgical on
if
your
you
life.
drew a
was
red
really-
source-
This is like
at
the
some point.
difference. This is the difference between like a hand that has a Mox Diamond and a hand that doesn't. Like Game 3 just like spotlighted that. I don't know.
There was that one point where you decided to hold up Caracas instead of Ghost Quarter, and then your knight got bolted. You could have potentially saved your knight from being bolted by Ghost Quartering yourself, but
Yeah,
It's
he
really
had death
awkward.
rates up. He had death rates up. He just gets eaten.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
awkward situation all
I don't
around.
think I was ever winning that game.
If you drew a red source earlier on in that game, it might get you out of it.
He said the turn he played surgical was the turn he top decked it.
Yeah.
I honestly think if I got like one good dredge out of that loam, that
Yeah.
I can probably
Yeah,
pull
yeah.
that game out.
For sure.
But where I didn't get to dredge, I don't know.
Hey, look!
Bryce got a good job from Captain QC.
Yeah, that's weird.
Crystal Brands, Elder Storm.
I like the Elshorn. It's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, it looks.
I
It's got like that
know.
whole like cathedral pointed architecture stuff.
Chancellors. Yeah, pretty sweet.
Hey guys, do you think Bryce likes circles?
No, I don't.
Good call. So what? I'm in here, so Brian thinks he can take off.
Apparently.
Joy.
Yeah, that Elishnorn is probably my favorite as well.
I just had to come in here and just like vent my frustration for a moment. It was like overall my fault, like right, like you can't.
It happens.
It wasn't. I didn't feel like I played anything too poorly. I just shouldn't have kept that hand. Even my game 3 hand was like slightly questionable.
Yeah.
Dang it, Kyre.
Well, it's still 2-1.
Yeah, I know. Wanted to face Terry in the finals.
Fair enough.
I want him to have a reason not to go to the bar with me after the event, you know?
Yeah.
And now he's gonna beat Calvin in the finals because then Terry gets into Calvin's head. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Terry Calvin finals should be kind of interesting to watch, though. Could be good.
I'll probably play against Corey this next round on camera.
Yep.
I don't know how my
Sounds about
Grixis
right.
Delver matchup is. Like,
That's probably okay. It probably depends on what you draw. Like,
yeah, and I am playing against players who like know their decks like really, really well, and here I am like playing my deck for the first time.
like if you go, you've got a couple different ways that you can attack them, right? You've got turn 1 Chalice on 1, which is pretty good.
It hurts them,
got-
but it doesn't kill them. If I have like that followed up with like a Punishing Fire,
Well,
like,
any
I'm
of your
probably gonna be
punishing
pretty
fire
good.
draws are pretty good.
Yeah, I think this is one of the decks that like turn 1 Chalice is gonna be really, really like a lot better than most.
Yeah. And like,
What's up with the lack of Tez? I had to try Agrolum out today. Probably next week I'll play Tez again. Had to try the Agrolum deck. I'm really liking it. Like it's a deck that I would play a lot more. So, but no, don't worry. I'll be bringing Tez back. The idea was never to get rid of Tezzeret. I don't think people would let me live that down. Huh? You'd never let me live that down. You'd
No,
be like,
sir.
You built Tezzeret? And...
No,
Yeah.
I'll come hang out in the background.
Cool.
how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. How about you guys?
Doing well.
He's on mud today.
No longer on mud today.
No longer. on my
You're
team.
done?
Brian wanted me to come take over for him.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
You're gonna be our 4th round.
Yeah.
Brian was probably pretty uncomfortable. Poor guy.
Oh, he's got
His little tummy problems.
he's got to pick up someone from
Oh,
the
does he?
airport for tomorrow.
Okay, sorry. I take back everything I said, Brian. Sorry.
Yeah, Mud was not doing well today.
No. You didn't mud the people.
Yeah, round 1 was good. I mean, I 2-0'd him rather quickly, but it was also his first time in a Legacy tournament
What was he playing?
with Mono Black Reanimator.
Okay.
I was like, okay,
You're like, that's gonna be rough for you, kiddo.
well, I swung in with a Worm Coil, and he had a Gristlebrand on board, and
he blocked without activating the Gristlebrand.
Mm.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, damage is dealt by Gristlebrand. I was like, I feel bad, but
Yeah,
have
well,
to learn somehow, right?
Yeah.
That was good though. He learned a lot. He had to read about every card I played.
That's all right.
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
That's true. I agree. Give him a bunch of tips on how to improve his deck for less than a few $100.
That's good.
Yeah.
At least you didn't just throw your match away like Kyre over here.
I was just, well, I don't know. It was game one against
Kyrie had a
Calvin.
rough game one.
Yeah, I kept the Badlands and a Mox Time in hand, and I'm on the draw. If I draw a land in the first 2 turns, I can, like, my hand was just fire, like everything I could possibly need, right? And I went through 4 draw steps and didn't find a land in my 27 land deck. I don't know. Even Corey saw my hand when he was sitting next to me, and he's like, "You should never have kept that." And I was just like, I know, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm just frustrated. All right, I'm gonna give Ryan my seat so I can stop being frustrated on the stream.
See you, Kai.
I'm going Kai.
I'll drop by after. After I redeem myself.
You dig yourself. There you go. Yeah, I like to teach transfer effect.
All right. You again. Leave and then you come back and then you leave it. You can switch that. You are not Brian.
What? I am not Brian. I mean, you changed 2 letters and it's close.
See, but at least he's not a B Ryan. Those are the worst. Because their parents couldn't choose between Ryan and Brian, and they're like, I know, let's just make it both. And you're like, no, it's neither.
That's how my uncle is.
B Ryan?
B Ryan, yeah. Not Brian.
He's not a Brian. He's not a Ryan. He's a B Ryan.
That's awesome. Not Brian. Ryan. I like it. Someone once tried to
I have
pass
strong feelings about this.
Resolve, said no. I do like Trinisphere, I do have to say. Trinisphere is a fun card. For me, at least. Everybody else hates it, but that's okay.
Transphere is fine on its own. The problem is Transphere is never on its own.
You have a valid point. I definitely in game 2 of my first round played Trinisphere on turn 1. Then followed it up with a Metalworker into Blightsteel Colossus the next turn.
Nice.
He was not pleased.
Yeah. That's a welcome to Legacy moment.
Well, he had what do you have? Let's see. He had Gristlebrand, Iona, and a Chancellor? No, not Chancellor. What was the other card? I don't know. He had a Gristlebrand and an Iona and some other creature.
Yep.
And Iona is absolutely useless against Mud. It's a 7/7. But yeah, that was a fun one.
Well, should be pretty close to time in the round, so
yeah,
round 4 should be getting started pretty soon.
It depends on the match I was sitting next to between Death and Taxes and Grixis Tezzerator.
Uh-oh.
They were nowhere near finishing. One had a, let's see, Thalia with a Jit and a Sword of Fire and Ice on it. And then he had Thopter Sword on the board and was sitting pretty with Thopters. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling that game's not going anywhere anytime soon.
I'd imagine Thopter Sword eventually gets through that, but
I think when I was walking away, he cast a Toxic for an absurd amount, so I have no idea what went down, but
fair enough.
hopefully it ends quickly.
We should be pretty close to time, so
I agree.
5 more turns, 1 more round of Legacy.
Yeah.
Coming up, round 4. If you guys are new to the stream, we do this twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. All Legacy all the time, 4 rounds each week. Legacy on Tuesday starts at 7 o'clock Mountain Standard Time and 7:30 on Fridays. So we hope you'll join us.
Yeah. Yeah, Thopters are blue. That's a good point. So I guess, I have no idea what's going down.
Goes through for sure.
goes through
But-
if they remember their sword trigger, because he didn't the first time.
Yeah.
Ooh, sorry, I'm
It's
tired.
a yawning day. Brian was yawning a lot earlier. I think it's the chair.
Oh, it might be.
I think it's the
I'm
chair.
gonna go with the chair instead of the extremely long day of work. Yeah, you know, I think I've even done that a few dozen times, forgetting that it's a blue thopter.
Yeah, not a common thing.
Well, mine's more for like all is dust.
Yeah.
I've cast all is dust and I forgot it. They colored, I think, a few times. So you played any? Doomsday. There we go. Other than let's see, you played on Tuesday, didn't you?
Play it Tuesday.
Nice.
Had a really bad showing, but my mind wasn't really in a place where I could play that deck effectively.
That deck's a hard one to think about.
Yeah. And I was like rushing to get to the tournament. I had a lot of stuff on my mind. I was just kind of like not in a good space to be playing the deck, but I played it anyway.
That's fair.
And had a couple of bad draws versus good matchups, and I had a couple of medium draws versus bad matchups, and lo and behold, I punted away around and went 0-4, but which is less than ideal. I'll tell you that. But been in a bit of a slump with the deck recently, but learning, getting better, trying to play better and figure out more matchups. So, and I just got my last Volcanic Island, so
Way to be. You don't have to borrow them anymore.
I've got my whole deck, so I can
Sweet.
play it whenever I want.
like it.
Hey, what's up? I think I'm dropping.
Like my card deck. No, I grabbed the cards for him.
Okay.
Right.
That is not the test.
Well, still waiting. Looks like another match or two. Hopefully they get started soon. Any of you guys been watching the Pro Tour?
I just wanted to give you a,
Sure.
you know,
He was just
Welcome
dropping
back.
from the tournament, so I was collecting the cards I loaned to him.
Definitely important.
That and the ones Kyra loaned to him, which
Definitely
I
important.
should probably tell Kyra I have, but we will do that in a minute. Sounds like tournament, the round's about to start,
Yeah,
so I think
fingers
we're,
crossed.
because that was one of the last matchups to report.
So likely we'll have Calvin versus Terry
Yeah, probably.
as our final undefeated, and then
So 4 color me Grixis. Right.
and it might be Kyra versus Corey on our backup, or something else that we don't know. But
Let's see, so
those are the guesses there.
yeah, Corey's playing Grixis too. So there's 2 copies of Grixis in the top
Yeah.
4 right now. No one here watches
Not
Standard.
very.
Yeah, I haven't watched a whole lot of Standard, so
Yeah, I watched like a round of the Pro Tour, and that's about it.
how was that? What was going on? I knew there was a tournament
Yeah.
going on. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, Pro Tour is going on. You know who that is?
think that's Corey, but I'm not positive.
We'll find out. We're waiting on updates to see who's sitting down and whatever. Alright,
That's
so
Calvin.
We've got Calvin.
That's Calvin.
Calvin, so that's probably gonna be Terry.
Yeah.
All right.
So then that is Corey on the other side of there. Yeah. Delver.
Terry on Grixis Delver.
That's.
And it's not Kaya. There's Calvin with his sweet playmat.
I do love that
four
playmat.
color.
I actually asked him where he got it.
It's a really sweet playmat.
It's like my all of my legacy decks right there. I play all 3 of those cards.
Okay.
Actually, all 6, I guess there are.
Kaya?
Yeah, I think that's it's
No,
Kyre.
he'd have his playmat. That's not Kaya. Is it?
Oh, that's they change up who's, because that's my deck. That's Jeremy against Corey. I'm gonna go double check that one.
Go check on that. I'll do that. I'll get the time set up as best I can.
Well, that was not who I expected at all. That would be Jeremy versus Jeff.
Ah,
That's why. So Jeremy's playing Bug mid-range, and Jeff is on Death and Taxes.
let's just switch here. Is this Jeremy or Jeff?
Jeremy is that one. Yep. Jeff is the one with the playmat.
Jeremy.
No, it was right the first time.
Jeremy.
On Bug mid-range, yeah.
Lots of bug today.
Yeah, he's another one that's borrowing one of my decks.
Lots of bug today.
And then Jeff on Death and Taxes. I think it's just, yeah. Yeah, I found this bug list that I was gonna try out tonight, but then I ended up having to loan out lots of decks, so I ended up playing Mud.
Alright. Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I do love that playmat.
Yeah, it's a really cool one.
I forget that Ulamog, or not Ulamog, yeah, it is Ulamog and Kozilek don't actually have legs.
Yep.
They have tentacles. That's an 11 on Terry's side. Oh, I guess they had already rolled.
Might have done even odd as well.
This is fair. That's probably what they did, actually. Terry's quite fond of that, I think.
I think it makes sense. Like, you don't waste time.
Yeah, that's fair. You only roll dice once. 28.
All right. Terry with his favorite opener of the tournament, which is Gitaxian Probe.
Oh, there
We've
you go.
seen him cast double or triple Gitaxian Probe in 3 of the past 4 starts.
Oh, wow. That's,
Triple Probe, okay.
Oh,
We're going to go to
wow.
14.
On turn 1 with no permanents on the battlefield. So we got Brainstorm, Bolt, Jace, Baleful Strix, and Land. Okay.
Not a bad opener for Calvin.
Pretty good opener.
Ponder for Terry. He's going to see Daze, Bolt, and Brainstorm. Draws Daze.
Oh, Daze.
It's like he's got Wasteland as well, which is pretty good. Calvin leads on Swamp. Pass it back. Terry
That's
goes
a flooded
Metro.
string.
Yep. And Calvin gonna cast.
Probably a Daze. Yep,
Yep.
incoming Daze for the Baleful Strix.
And Brainstorm with the mana.
Full Force Wasteland number 2? Is that
Yep.
what that is?
Full Force Wasteland number 2. Have to imagine one of these bolts is going back. Might be wrong.
It's the same bolt. There's
Oh,
only
it is.
one.
It is
It's
the same bolt. Never
yeah.
mind.
He's got 4 land, bolt, 4 spell pierce,
Sure.
and some card I can't tell.
I think he has a Jason hand.
Oh, Jason, that's the other one. Okay.
Yep. Looks like he put some lands back on top, and
I just got one of them out with the fetch. Okay, that makes sense.
gets one out. Shuffles.
Need to experiment more with 4 color. I like the deck, I just don't play it very often.
4 color is interesting. I think there's a lot more play to it than people give it credit for. Like,
I agree.
there's a lot of decision choices, both in deck building and in play.
Well, I mean, you have so many flex slots. That's where I run into issues. I try different lists of it every time, and can't seem to find one I like.
Delver the draw for Terry.
Probably what I'll play. Yeah.
Wasteland into Delver is the play. And yeah.
Calvin's got a decent amount of land anyway, so it doesn't seem like it's going to matter that much.
You see a bolt here. Looks like Calvin is off of blue at the moment. We don't know what else is in his hand, but those Wastelands are doing a decent amount of work, and another Delver to follow things up here. Wow, more Wastelands.
Holy cow.
No, and this is kind of that sub game of do you have the lands to play Magic after I Wasteland you? That Delver can be so good at doing. It's not as typical that you see this in the Grixis version as much as like the Rug version, but
I do like Rug Delver. I owned the Taiga, or not the Taiga, the extra Trops. I would play that. I don't have 2 extra Trops right now. Oh, okay, so hit the death, right?
Yep.
Calvin could force this, I guess. I mean, considering we have 4 cards, we have no idea what he's...
Yeah, be really tempted to. If Terry has that Spell Pierce, it's not going to work out, but
no, he has 5 cards that we don't know
definitely worth doing, I think.
Yeah.
It's going to be Force Pitch Jace, and that's going to get Spell Pierced.
Yeah, that's rather unfortunate.
Yeah.
I don't think Calvin's going to be doing much this game.
Yeah, Terry's just had the Wastelands and had the pressure to back it up, and this game's pretty close to over.
I mean, he still has a Wasteland in hand too. That's the bad part.
Yeah.
Calvin
He's only needed 3 this game.
Only needed 3, but always helps to have the 4th, right?
Calvin drops to 10. Draws fetch land.
So you could theoretically have a land next turn.
Looks like he's got double Leovold, Brainstorm.
Double Leovold, Brainstorm, Force a Will? That Lightning Bolt. Might be a Lightning
I
Bolt.
think he's got a bolt.
It's a bolt, okay. It's really hard when he holds it right over the FNM Legacy symbol.
Yeah. Playing it close to the chest.
Yeah, he likes to do that. Man, he's got some pretty islands and swamps. I guess island and swamp.
We watched Caitlin playing a Grixis control deck.
Grixis Pyromancer or something
with,
like that.
No, it was closer to like 4 color, but only Grixis.
Okay.
And she had like 6 basics. It was pretty crazy.
I saw a list of that. I actually played a list where it ran 6 basics, 2 underground, 2 bulk, and a Badlands.
All right, Calvin's gonna scoop it up there.
And it ran back to basics main board.
Yeah, the surprising thing was the deck was playing Blood Moon, not Back to Basics.
Back to basics better, in my opinion.
That was a little surprising to me.
Let's see their sideboarding
So-
as well.
Both matches sideboarding. It looks like Death and Taxes got there over
8 to
most
20.
mid-range.
Yeah.
Unless Jeff's just quicker at resetting his clock.
That's
But
fair.
we'll keep you guys updated on that back match too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much the game plan from Grixis Delver that you see. That's about as ideal of a Grixis Delver game I think that you can get for this
Yeah.
matchup.
Delvers and Wastelands. That's
Yeah.
all you need. You only need 8 cards.
Land a threat.
I guess you need 12 because you have to have other colors of mana. But
Land a threat, protect said threat, kill your opponent, make sure they can't do anything.
accurate. Don't think Jeremy's liking this deck. He likes 4 color better. Yeah. I don't know that. Terry seems to be pretty consistent with his Grixis Delver. I asked him if he was playing a different deck tonight, and he said
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, he had thoughts of playing Bug actually,
But mid-range. Yeah.
and he was thinking about it right up until, and then said, "Nah, I'm going Grixis."
Yeah.
And can't really blame him, but definitely understand thinking about like trying to switch it up. Terry does have access to some kind of interesting sideboard cards. He's got a Bitter Blossom in the sideboard.
I saw that. Yeah, I did see that.
And pretty sure he's got a Grim Lavamancer in the board.
Okay.
Certainly not bringing in Grim Lavamancer here, but Bear Blossom could be interesting.
I like Bitter Blossom actually. I don't think I've ever seen it in a Grixis Delver list, but I have seen it in Esper Stoneblade.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen it in Esper Stoneblade and
Yep. I've seen it in Turbo Depths as well as just kind of an alternate game plan.
Yeah. That seems like a good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I honestly did not like playing that deck. I played it once. I did not enjoy it. I am not a combo deck player, that is for sure.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. The deck, like, it has a really, really high ceiling where, like, you know, you get these hands and you just go off and you've got the answers for everything. And it feels great. And, like, you know, you can do all this stuff. You make, like, a turn 1 20/20 and, like, say, beat it.
Exactly.
And then you get these other matches because it's got a really, really low floor. When things are not going right with the deck, they do not go right at
Nothing
all.
happens,
And you just sit there and your opponent kills you.
Uh-huh.
Like,
I think my least favorite part about playing the deck is when you do everything right and they have a diabolic edict.
Yeah.
It's like, it's great. I got edict twice in one game. I had made 2 20/20s.
Yeah. I think like the really frustrating part is like once you get that, like say you combo off once and it doesn't work, and you combo off again and it doesn't work, or you like are one step away, one piece away from comboing off, and then they draw like into their wasteland or into their edict or whatever, and you just kind of shake your head and you go, all right, well, you got me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was Snapcaster Edict. That's my favorite for sure.
Yeah, definitely. There's not much room to maneuver through. You're either you got it right or you're gonna die.
Exactly.
And some of those choices are really kind of nuanced and hard to figure out, especially if you're not very familiar with the deck.
Definitely was not. So it looks like Calvin has triple bolt in hand.
Yeah.
Triple Bolt, Flusterstorm, Liliana Blast Hope, and an Underground. Wow, that's a hand.
Well, that's a hand that would have been pretty good last game against Terry.
It might be pretty good. I know he has a Polluted Delta and a Fetch and a Floated Strand. That's all I can see.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a deck that also really rewards your knowledge of the format.
Yeah.
So, if you're aware of like what people are siding in against you, how they're trying to interact with you, those are all very important things for the deck. Even more so than a deck like Grixis Delver or 4-color, where you can kind of fight through whatever comes your way. It's a lot more specific in what you have to do. Like, and sideboarding is also another really hard thing to do with that deck.
Really very difficult
Like,
to sideboard with.
Are you siding out lands? You have to make decisions like, is Expedition Map better than Into the North, or like
Or
stuff like that, or Sylvan
Scrying,
Scrying,
yeah.
or like crop rotation. Like, what things are better in that deck? Like,
Yeah,
I've certainly lost matches. Like, it's one of the first decks I built online was Turbo Devs, just trying to get into Legacy online.
yeah.
And yeah, there were so many matches where I would like side out like a Bajuka Bog or something like that, thinking that it wasn't going to be relevant because I didn't see anything in the previous game, and just get wrecked by not having it in my deck. So,
Oh, thanks for the follow. We will wait
for it.
I like it. I like it.
Thanks for the follow.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah, for sure.
that's very true.
Yeah, it's kind of a tightrope to walk. You need the right combination of things to make the deck tick.
Yeah, it's kind of like sideboarding with the mud list I have actually, because you have so many one-ofs, and it's like the one time I need to search for a particular one-of is the time I sided it out.
Sure.
It's just like your Bajuka Bog. It's
Yeah.
like, oh hey, I needed my spine this game. Great.
Yeah.
And it's sitting in a sideboard.
All right. So Terry plays out a pair of Delvers, and
Split. Tarmogoyf on Calvin's side, which is what? See, I have no idea what's in Terry's graveyard. Actually, I can't tell.
yeah, we've got that unfortunate glare that we haven't quite figured out how to deal with there, but
One Delver down.
it's gonna be at least 3,
Let's see if I can
probably
read that
4.
dice. It's a 4/5 right now. If that's what I'm reading.
3 or 4. We'll find out here. Looks to be
Yeah,
4.
Okay, so it is 4/5.
Strix enters play, and that's going to get Pyroblast. That will up the power of that Goyf at the very least. It'll be a 5/6, I think.
Yeah, it should be a 5/6 now. Because there was already a creature in there.
Mm-hmm.
We could see a Liliana the Last Hope next turn, which would kill the next Delver. Depending on what Terry has in hand.
Something else? No. Okay.
No, it is a 5/6.
Yeah, 5/6.
The bigger
Alright,
depth.
Bolt is the reveal. Yeah, those dice are
Very hard to read,
really hard to read.
if at all possible.
Yeah. It was a great idea in theory, but there are some bigger ones, but I usually don't use them.
Yeah, let's see. So Delver comes in for 3. Guess it wouldn't be blocking the Tarmogoyf anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have left it up for the Tarmogoyf and bolted it. There's the Grim
Wow.
Lavamancer you're talking
Okay,
about.
yeah. There is the Grim Lavamancer. I'm kind of surprised to see that in.
It might
But-
be just a chump blocker at this
Yeah,
point.
for sure. We do know that there's a Bolt to deal with it and clear the way. Or Liliana as a potential play.
I think
So
he
it's
squeaks
gonna
in
go
first.
in.
Yep.
And Liliana.
Liliana.
I'd be tempted to play Lily first, and the reason is that if it dies, it grows.
Oh, it
the-
got dazed
the
anyway.
Goyf. And Terry's gonna pack it in, I think.
Yeah, we conceded that one.
So
1-1.
1-1. All right.
Oh,
So
that's a board state.
we'll switch over while they're shuffling up. And we have a Thalia and a Stoneforge Mystic in play versus Double Deathrite. And
Richton, Caracas Plains, 2 Underground, and a Pluto Delta.
yep,
Okay.
looks like Jite was the fetch off of that Stoneforge. And can't quite make out the other cards. One of them's the new legend from New Phyrexia. I can't remember. its name.
Dominaria.
Or
Yeah, the other one's a
Dominaria.
Mirrodin Crusader.
Yeah. Mirren Crusader, that makes sense.
Not Mirrodin Crusader. Mirrodin Crusader.
Mirren Crusader.
Yeah, there's no D.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like a Revoker and an Ether Vial died. Oh, Abrupt Decay. The card.
Alright, so we're going to see Brainstorm. There is a Thalia.
Let's see. I saw another Deathrite Shaman and an Island. That's what that is. Let's see. Ooh, Terry and Calvin just started.
Alright. Pop back over here.
Fatal Push, Brainstorm, Ponder, Pyroblast, and Fluster.
2 land. Deathrite's the play.
Terry does love his turn 1 Deathrite.
Probably one of the better starts that you can have. Arguably the best start that you
I
can
was gonna
have.
say, it's probably one of the best
Yeah.
starts. Turn 1 you can have.
Calvin, trying to think about what land he wants to play here. Might be a little hesitant to put that Bayou out given the fact that he got triple wastelanded last game. But
He also
I
would be-
think just fatal pushing away this Deathrite would be worthwhile. Even if it gets dazed, it sets him back a mana for next turn, and you have other answers that you can get.
I think that's probably what he's debating, is whether he wants to Fatal Push it. Take it, he's not going to.
Wait a turn, play around days. But I'm not sure if I like that. I think I'd rather force him to have it. And the reason is now he gets to activate that Deathrite at least once, so he's got 3 mana available this turn.
To play at your name Nemesis, yeah.
Yeah. I suppose you keep your options open, but you know, if you're trying to Pyroblast like the true name, you're still not beating Daze. So
Daze is still gonna ruin that idea.
Yeah.
It looks like it is a true name.
Yeah.
It is.
and that's a little rough. It's a pretty good start. You could.
He's not even gonna respond to the true name. Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I would have done that either, but it's okay. I guess that other card in his hand could be a Marsh Casualties.
Sure.
Even then, you'd still get wrecked by
So,
a Daze.
Fresh Brainstorm.
Okay.
Kind of surprised not to see this in response at the very least.
Agree. Hey, he's not going to do Marsh Casualties. Just go Islands, so
It's basic.
I think he's playing off that idea of not getting
Yeah.
triple wastelanded again.
For sure.
I need to get myself one of these computer chairs. They're fantastic. Terry's writing that down because he's going to pick him up for the brainstorm.
Yeah.
Looks like another Pirate Blast in hand. Can't tell. They all look red to me.
Fair enough. Kind of hard to see from this angle.
Well,
We'll find out soon enough.
I'm gonna say those foils they all look the same.
So, all but one card are in Calvin's hand at the moment. Off that Brainstorm.
Looks like one of them was a Liliana the Last Hope. Ponder, I think.
Looks
Yeah,
to be
okay,
a Ponder.
Okay. Somebody's giving Calvin a hard time because he's out there laughing. He's so fun to tease sometimes. All in good fun though. Ooh, turn name is gonna be real difficult to deal
for
with,
sure.
I think.
Definitely a tough spot. I don't know. So here comes that Fatal Push, and
That seems like 2 turns too late.
Yeah.
Or a turn too late.
so you're pretty much in the same position as last turn. Yeah, I think if this was going to be your line, you should do it in the reverse order. You should Fatal Push first with your island open to play around days, and then let your Ponder get dazed. You already know it's on top. You've got a plethora of cards at hand. Like,
Yeah, I'm not seeing the lines here, to be honest with you.
mm-hmm.
I don't think he has another land in hand. Oh, he does have an Underground Sea. Okay.
Yeah, he has that underground. Here comes Strix. I'll draw him a card. Again, just feeling really far behind here with active Deathrite versus and True Name versus.
And a dead Baleful Strix, actually.
Bird. Terry with a decent amount of mana to work with in the graveyard.
Double True Name? Oh, no, Gurmag.
Gurmag coming down. Okay.
I have a hard time believing this game's going
Yeah, this
Calvin's way.
It's looking pretty harsh. If he has third land into Deluge, but
yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
It's not looking like it though.
it's not looking good.
He'll find a land, but I don't think he has a Deluge. But I mean, he can't Deluge next turn anyway for enough to kill the Gurmag because he's going to take
Right, exactly.
8,
It would have
9,
had to
10.
been,
Yeah, I was going to say he's going to take 10 next
Yeah.
turn.
would have had to be this turn.
Yep. Yeah, at the very least he's taking 9.
Yeah.
Oof.
If Calvin has land into Goyf would be
Yeah,
a 4 or 5.
Yeah, because he's got land ponder.
So not big enough to
Fatal Push, yeah. Yeah, it's
kill
a
the.
artifact creature, instant sorcery land. It's a 5/6.
Okay.
It's a 5/6.
So if he goes land into Tarmogoyf,
Well, we found a
got
land, but it's
land.
not a green.
I guess casualties would be a start. Get rid of True Name.
Yeah, Gurmag Angler's still staring you in the face at that point, though.
True. I just don't know what you do from this point.
I don't think this is... Nothing doesn't seem like a good choice, though. I'll be honest.
Yeah. It's like second True Name in hand for Terry.
Then Delver. Oh, Brainstorm. Okay, Brainstorm.
Brainstorm to start things off.
He's debating on which land he wants to tap for that. He has to say.
I think
Edict. Fetch and
Yeah.
something else.
I think Terry has this game pretty much locked at this point.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that one. That is a board state. It's the same game.
It is the same game.
It looks like Terry's swinging in with the true name. Did play second fetch.
In for 8.
For 8. Snapcaster.
Snapcaster for no value.
Block the Gurmag, I guess.
Pay 2 mana, gain 5 life. Not even that though. If Terry just edicts, right?
I think that's what Terry's doing.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, he still takes 8 at that point.
Yep. And you've got.
Oh no,
Nope.
he let it resolve Bitter Blossom.
There's the Bitter Blossom. Okay. So both sideboard cards that we talked about came in this match. Kind of shocked to see the first one. Oh, interesting. Okay.
What did you do? Toxic on what?
Toxic Deluge for 5, down to
Ooh.
5.
So that's to deal with 1/1 fairies.
Okay.
That's an elemental. Oh, there's the second
Yep,
true name.
there's that second true name. We knew about that.
That's a problem. Still don't think it's gonna go Calvin's way on that one.
Definitely an uphill battle.
Yeah, I guess Brainstorm's a good way to start this off. There's unless Terry decides to daze it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what do you need here? Like Abrupt Decay for the...
Abrupt Decay won't even save you. You need a land too. You need a land and something.
Yeah.
Land and marsh casualties would be what you'd need.
Land.
Or just marsh casualties.
Yeah. Land Liliana, then hope that True Name attacks Liliana by a turn.
I don't know if Terry has a lightning bolt still or not. He's had one. He had one a while. Oh no, he used it on the Baleful Strips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything other than marsh casualties that would save you. I mean, Liliana might be a save you a turn, I guess.
So Liliana, if you have land Liliana, you could kill the token, and then True Name can't kill Liliana immediately.
Yeah, but I think
So
True Name kills
comes at
two
you.
Yeah, 2 turns.
You go to 2, and you have to fade like a bolt, but maybe that at least shuts down the Bitter Blossom.
Yeah.
And then you're 1 card away from getting back into the game.
Still a tough spot.
Alright, that's right. Probably not good enough.
I mean, I guess you can gain a life if you find a green source.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still coming in for 4 this turn, and all of it's unblockable.
Yeah, so you can't fetch is the problem, right? Like, you'd have to draw...
You have to draw a Trop or a Bayou, and the Bayou is exiled.
And, yeah, you're just at the mercy of everything.
Drew a lightning bolt, but that's not going to save him. I believe this would be the end of Calvin.
Casualties are bust.
Casualties are bust, and it looks like he's brainstorm locked.
Do you have it?
Casualties abrupt decay. That's what has to happen here.
Yeah, casualties, abrupt decay. Hope that Terry doesn't have anything strong to follow up with, or any bolts off the top ever.
That might be asking a little bit much.
Looks like he's got Strix, Bolt, Liliana. Let's see what happens here. Possibly. I don't know what that card is in the front.
Snapcaster. It's the new art.
Oh, okay.
At least I think. Kind of what it looks like. Oh no, it's a Flusterstorm.
Ah.
The Judge promo.
Yep. I think Terry's just sitting on land and Delver in hand at the moment, but he doesn't really need much of anything. He's got the Delver to like reapply pressure if necessary, but
Yeah, I mean, Calvin's 2 cards away from dealing with all the stuff on board anyway. 3 actually, because he needs a green sword.
Yep. So ponder for the shuffle. He's gonna get a look at one new card off the top of his library.
Let's see if Terry cut him a good one. Nope, that's a Leovold.
Does not look like a Marsh Casualties. Not even sure if Calvin's playing Marsh Casualties, to be honest.
He should be. I was Colgan's command.
So
Looks
Calvin's
like
laying them down.
Oh
It
no,
look-
Calvin and Terry both putting their cards on. Looks like Calvin's.
Yeah, I think this is Calvin conceding. I think they're just kind of talking about what's up.
Yeah, I think that because Terry's pulled the thing out of the graveyard.
Yeah.
It's definitely over.
Yeah. So
Terry took it.
Terry takes that 2-1. On our back match,
Game 3.
it looks like
Wasteland Port.
looks like there's some things going on. So Stoneforge enters the battlefield, searches up for an equipment.
Probably Jit since the batter school's in the hand.
Previous Stoneforge got hit by Fatal
Thoughtseize.
Push, or
Thoughtseize. Oh no, it is Fatal Push. No, there's a Thoughtseize as well, so maybe that or Thalia, which is under it. Maybe, I don't know, I can't tell.
it's like Recruiter got hit.
Oh, is it Rick Ritter under it?
Yeah.
Okay. The one of Windswept Heath. Turns out I know what every card in this deck. It's mine.
Good to know. Good to know. Oh, wrong thing. So I'm thinking that
okay.
Jeff probably lost that first game.
Oh, it's game 3. This is round 3, yeah. Because that second game ended while we were looking at Calvin, or while they were starting, so it's 1-1
So we're
right
gonna
now.
assume 1-1.
Unless they're just playing for fun to mess with us. Mother of Runes is always a fun card.
Like GTA. Seems good. Abrupt Decay in hand for Jeremy.
Yep. And double or triple Force of Will? Triple Force of Will.
Okay.
That's a
lot of force.
Yeah.
Decay comes down, takes out Jite.
Not surprised by that. Yeah, the reason why I wanted to try this list out is because it runs a main board back to basics, so it runs 5
Okay.
basics.
Like it.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of an interesting bug build. Ran a couple Gurmags and a couple True Names, so yeah, that's...
So Vile is the play for Jeff. Pretty good one here. It's going to allow him to activate Port.
Jeremy's actually going to force the Vile.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I probably would too, actually.
Especially if he's trying to get any back to basics shenanigans going. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. That's a
Okay.
That's a heck of a card.
That's a card.
We say he has the Helm combo in here. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Not likely.
I
but
doubt it, but oh, there you go.
That would be some spice for sure.
Be.
Play Urborg too.
That's awesome. That'd be awesome. So he's got a wasteland. He doesn't have blue, which is interesting.
So Jeff short on white sources.
Jeremy is no blue whatsoever. Into Torok. That explains it. Okay.
All right. Let's see what gets randomly discarded.
I want to say something. Why?
Sorry, we're gonna disrupt the stream.
Yeah.
Disrupting.
The people want me anyways.
Like,
What are we watching?
D&T?
D&T versus Bug. He kept the batter skull. Oof.
How many viewers you got?
like 30.
That's nighttime.
Quartz won.
Did you win or lose, Terry?
That one.
You won.
You won.
You got it.
Yeah.
That last game was brutal.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I ended up beating Storm.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That seems like a hard matchup for your deck.
Yeah, it was.
It
Like
is
I kept
rather difficult.
like I won game 1 because he had to like try to go off early because he saw that I had a chalice in hand, and then
Didn't get there.
game 2 I just drew like every sideboard card in existence. I got really lucky.
Did you see the greatest punt on planet Earth? Game 2 against Turbo Depths? I was really hoping you guys missed that.
Game 2 against Turbo Depths.
Legitimately, the lines I
remember.
did literally led him to a win without in almost an unwinnable position.
Probably.
And like I just like after I literally thought Flusterstorm was Flusterstorm creatures. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
I think we might have missed that.
I literally
Marsh
was on tilt
casualties.
so bad. Game 3,
Oof.
didn't attack the Delver one.
That's the card that Calvin needed against you.
Yeah, Marsh Casualty.
Yeah.
This is the only
Yeah.
answer.
It's so good against stuff and taxes.
It is.
Yeah, we're like, how does Calvin get out of this? He needs to go like Toxic Deluge into Abrupt Decay on the
Yeah,
on the Bitter Blossom.
well, you know what
into,
I was
like,
worried
Marsh
about
Casualties.
was if he went Marsh Casualties and then played Liliana the turn after.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he would just
Yeah.
kill my token every single
Yeah.
turn. And I wouldn't be able to stop. I literally would lose the game. And I literally kept saying, gosh, I do not want to lose this game with him at 1 life.
Yeah.
So. What game is this? Is
3.
This looks pretty cool.
I liked your Quad Wasteland draw game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty great.
Yeah, just machine gunning him. When I drew the 4th Wasteland, I was like, haha.
We didn't even need it at that point.
I got blown up by Goy. His hand of 3 lightning bolts, Liliana, and
Yeah.
Goy. I could not do anything. I tried to play around the lightning bolts for the longest time, and I finally just said, I'm going to do this obscure line and see if he'll, like, misplay somehow.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out what he was doing with the last game there. He had Fatal
Yeah.
Push turn 1. We were confused why he didn't cast
Daze.
it. Well, I know,
Yeah,
but you
but-
daze it, and
yeah.
then you have then you don't have to
He's
deal with
at
it. He
least
ended
not
up doing it
playing
next turn
on,
anyway and do it
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had probe every single game, so you guys just got to see like what
Yeah.
I want to play.
For sure.
Yeah.
You had triple probe quite a bit.
Yeah. Today I had like triple probes all around. They turn to Germag against
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Kevin. Do you guys watch the mirror match between me and Corey at all?
A little bit. I think we caught like a game.
Who won? Obviously, you. Never mind. That's a stupid question. Was that all that you borrowed? That David borrowed from you?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Just making sure because I got my stuff and then I was like, I better just grab Kyra's stuff too because I didn't want him to
Steal the seat.
So 3-1.
3-1.
Okay.
Nice.
First time ever playing the deck.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, like the round I lost was like,
It's because you weren't on camera.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I won every single time I wasn't on camera, and I lost on camera.
Yeah.
I thought I could play fine on camera too. I just kept a hand I shouldn't have. Like,
Yeah.
that was my mistake.
Happens.
Mm,
Kyra being an idiot, it happens.
Game
How's
2.
Chapin doing? I love it. We actually have some people in here.
We do, yeah.
They're hanging out with us instead of watching Pro Tour reruns.
Yeah, yeah.
This is great.
We've got a
Yeah.
couple follows today.
Sweet.
We got a couple people who've had to call it a night, but yeah.
For sure.
It happened.
Yeah.
I really should be in bed right now, but I'm here. It's okay. I don't have to be to work at 6 in the morning, so
That was a thought, yeah.
Only 6? That's not too bad.
Have it on in the background. Yeah.
that makes sense.
It's a good thing to do.
Oh yeah.
No worries, Fox. Even when I'm here, I feel like I'm just in the background.
Why did you tap?
right,
like
right now you're physically in the background.
I actually am. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, would you stay back there?
Yeah, I could.
Okay, good.
Forever.
No,
Please.
Tuesday I need to come back.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I suppose.
I always need to be here on Tuesdays. Gotta tell chat what's up. Gotta tell him
you
how to
need
play
a
the
streamer
magics.
on Tuesdays, right?
Yeah,
Let me know.
things are gonna be a little different on Tuesdays for the next couple weeks at least, at very minimum.
I should be around those Tuesdays.
Jeremy down to 5 here, but it seems like
He just saw True Name Toxic Deluge and Abrupt Decay, so I don't think he's in a bad spot.
seems like he's in a positive position on board. We see
Ports
two
are doing
ports,
something.
yeah.
He's got
But I don't think I'd be porting the black source. I don't know. Don't you port the other two and leave him with the
That's
black?
kind of what I thought.
Depends on what's in his exile, if he's got both underground or not.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's only 2 undergrounds in the deck.
And they've already been killed.
I guess I don't honestly
Jeremy-
know.
Oh yeah, then this is probably right then.
Those are the only 2 swamps. I know that.
Speaking of excitement, I got my 3rd underground today.
Nice.
So
Goes.
happy. So like I'm in a position where I could play like most decks in Legacy, like minus like a couple of like really expensive reserve desk cards.
Mid range
I'm stoked
because
I just
it's
got my Volt.
more focused on creatures. It's got more creatures than the control deck. It also doesn't run Snapcasters and stuff that way. Like the control lists I've seen are running Hymn to Torok's main board. I don't think there's a main board Hymn to Torok in this list. I've also the control are running 3 Snapcaster, and I'm running 3 Baleful Strix, 2 True Name, 1 Gurmag, and 4 Deathrite, and 2 Leovold.
Mother Runes comes down.
Well, this game is definitely
Still some play.
It's
That's
still
going to
there.
get fatal.
Fatal
Okay.
pushed. Okay. I'm confused what's going on here.
They thinking about
he's responding to
to
he floated black man off the
yeah.
that should be fun.
You're talking about the port.
Yeah, he floated.
Yeah.
There's a
I don't think. Yeah, I actually think that Jeff pulls this game out because he's at such a low life total. Deathrite Shaman's turned off. This true name's gonna have to hold back for probably the rest of the game unless and Jeremy won't have black for the rest of the game. This is actually probably pretty good for Jeff as long as he draws some creatures. You know.
It's kind of a tight spot. I think cards that could flip things around are back to basics, something along.
Oh,
that
that's
line.
Shalai. That's Shalai.
Everything has hexproof.
Yeah, except for her.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's also a 3/3 flyer.
Pretty good.
So what's Jeff looking for right now? He's looking for a sort of Fire Nice, right?
I think
Jit
Jeff
and
is
Batter
fine.
Skull are both gone.
Okay.
So
So Fire Nice
Is
is
the
like
only
the
option.
card, right? Like he needs a Stoneforge or a Fire Nice.
need at least a Stoneforge.
I think Jeff just needs to attack for 2 turns.
I agree.
Well, yeah. I mean, Shalai does it by itself, but
Just 1 turn.
yeah. There's a decent chance that Jeremy could deal with the Shalai though.
Does he got a Toxic in hand? He does. He has
Yep,
a Toxic
Toxic
in hand.
Deluge.
But he's never going to have
Yeah,
black.
he's never gonna block.
This is the turn if you wanted to have one black, right?
He'd have to go to 1 to Toxic. No, yeah, he can't because he'd have to fetch, right? He'd have to fetch and go down to 4, and then he'd have to Deluge for 4.
3.
3.
Why
Right.
3?
Everything's 3.
No, Shalai's a 3/4.
Oh,
So I
she's
said
3/4?
3/4.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was a 3/3.
Wow.
Nope.
He does
Alright,
Deluge
well.
on what?
Here's Deluge.
Oh no, he has 4. He has enough mana for
Yeah.
it.
Wait, did Jeff not?
He couldn't port twice. He only
He
had
only had 1 port open.
He only had 1 port open.
Okay, man, I would have waited if I were Jeff. Then I would have waited.
I would have
until he found
attacked
another
with the
land.
True Name Nemesis.
For sure.
To be honest with you. Oh, he did. Okay, he did. Okay, good. I was like, I hope he attacked with the True Name Nemesis.
So down to 1 here.
Yeah, so we can't fetch for anything, and these black sources are probably never going to untap again.
See who can draw what. Brainstorm
I mean, we're on.
and
imagine we're on time.
Abrupt Decay. It doesn't quite line up, so
Oh,
it
that's
might be
very
close.
good. Yeah.
But also, I don't think anyone set the timer for them this round. There's a back to basics, and that could actually prove useful at keeping those ports tapped.
That would do
Getting
it.
back that black mana.
I do love that card.
Yeah, that's a high priority right there.
See if Jeremy realizes that though. He's still kind of new to Legacy.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of people into Legacy recently. Like I keep seeing new faces. I love it.
That's great.
Like I always thought that
Yep.
like
That's
Yeah.
a back to basics.
It's a back to basics. That's actually why the deck runs so many basics. Is the main board's a back to basics. That's why I wanted to try it. Is because I like back to basics the card. It's like one of the
Here
best
it
decks.
comes.
Oh,
Back to
and
basics.
both those ports
Yep.
are tapped,
Both ports tapped.
and the wasteland actually, and one of the wastelands.
we got a game, boys.
Just the ports.
Oh, it was an old place.
Yeah,
Okay.
just the ports.
Yeah, it's a snow covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here comes another
Shalai. He's running 2. Nuh-uh.
Wow.
Okay. Jeremy, I think, is just dead.
So we got a brainstorm to look at a couple more cards
What's
here.
the other card in his hand?
I think it's some Abrupt Decay. Could be wrong.
Why would you run 2 Shalai? I'm so confused. They're legendary. What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just deck building choices. Sometimes they're rather intriguing.
I mean,
Well, it
one
certainly did it
one's
there.
Sweet. Yeah, he just,
So-
he just didn't have an answer for
There's
Shalai.
the
That's
game.
That's it.
Right.
There it was.
Well.
3 turns.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for us today.
Yeah.
4 rounds of Legacy in the books. Saw some pretty cool matches. And we'll see you guys back here next Tuesday for some more Legacy action.
I'll be here. Will you?
I'll be here, but I'll be playing instead.
See you guys.
I should
See
be
you
here.
guys.